Hello. Okay, so today's going to be, I think, a little interesting because of a problem. So I realized that many of the projects that I've been working on are getting to a phase where there's a bunch of sensitive information. So it's not ideal for streaming. But one of the projects that I've been working on, that I kind of neglected, is not like that. It's very incomplete, it's fun, and it lends itself to community. We can all do this together. And this is inspired, you can see the description by Gillian, who's live streaming now. I'm not sure if she's still live, but she was working on a game, like a community game. I had that idea and then it just disappeared a long time ago. I never went back to it, and then I saw her stream and she was going for it. So I thought, might as well, let's do it. Now, if you watched some of the older streams, hi, Mingyan, if you've watched some of the older streams, then you know that this is keywords.io. I've showed it, but I never really went deep into it. Something has changed recently, which is Railway as a vibe coder. I've discovered Railway and the possibilities that come with persistence. Is it persistence? I don't even know. But basically, my understanding is you have Vercel and you have Railway. And if you use Railway, you can do things like have lobbies and have users come in and chat with each other in the lobbies. And I've already migrated, let me actually just show you. I've already migrated to Railway with keywords.io. And we can try this, like Meme here in the chat already. We can try this once it's actually multiplayer. But here we go. This is the prompt. Let's set up Railway server and migrate keywords to it. And I think it's successful. I actually haven't even tried. But I'll be working a lot on the graphics, you could say, which is the Keyboard Warrior app, or keywords. This. So I set up Rocket Chimp for my actual logo, this Rocket Chimp Studio, and this is single purpose. Hi Reza, this is single purpose. It just creates a bunch of variations of my logo so that I can have a very interactive logo, and it's fun. Honestly, it's very fun. I can display some of them. And what I've done is, you can see here, I told it to follow like what is animation principles. I think I forget the exact term, but you know when you take a ball and you draw it and you want it to bounce, you have to show the ball being squeezed before it bounces. There should be some acceleration as well. Respect physics, right? And so there's that added to all of these different this original. So this one over here is the original. Okay. So that gets applied to it, but then also there's a bunch of faces. There's a face library where you can just generate faces, and I haven't tried this in a long time, but might as well try it now. I don't know if it's still configured. Oh, that's right, I forgot. New face just copies over whatever I have in over here. So if it's empty, it just adds an empty face. The way that I've been using it is I've just been prompting. So the way I set it up is, first and foremost, kind of like a skill. First and foremost, it integrates with my Claude, and then these IDs, when I copy an identifier, paste it into Claude, then it knows exactly what I'm talking about, and it can edit it and do whatever I want with it, and it generates the faces. And you'd be surprised, if you give it enough constraints, then it will do a very good job at animation. So those physics that I was talking about, follow the physics principles, only apply to specific areas, which you can adjust, okay? And those areas can also be moved. So it's not just physics making them bounce and making them do things. No, you have freedom, like Fable. You have freedom to actually move them around. And I've shown this before, but here's one of the really good ones: Victory Dance, creative, right? It's moving the hands, it's dancing. It worked out. So sometimes you have a really good outcome, and sometimes you just really don't. And so what you end up with is the dump button. So a lot of times you just end up dumping. Where's that dump button? Maybe I have to click on one. Yeah, this is the dump button. And so you end up dumping a lot of these outcomes. What's happening in the chat? So will we be able to use it like play on stream? Exactly. That's the goal. What I want to do is I want to take this really far because I realize that especially for vibe coders, okay, and coders in general, but vibe coders, you have to be able to type quickly, right? And if you can type quickly, I know you can do voice chat and you can just talk, but in my personal assessment, there's levels to it, okay? Writing, when you write things down, which is slow, it forces you to think. And when you get good at writing fast, you think fast. When you speak, it's so like muscle memory that you don't even think about it. It's like breathing. Like you don't practice breathing, but you can. And if you do practice, if you're like an athlete and you want to do things like go professional, you really want to focus on your breathing, right? Slow it down, be very deliberate about it. Okay, with typing, you're automatically already deliberate with it. And so if you get used to typing and spelling and framing your ideas because you type really fast, I think it's better. It's just a me thing. I think this way, but also it's fun. Like it's actually fun when you type fast. It's like a skill. So let's make this into a full-blown game where you can together battle the hordes. So the horde comes, you have you know, your friends in the horde, and then we add these skills. Bro, what is vibe coding? Like you just tell Claude do this and then do that. That's vibe coding. So check this out. Let me move the light. I don't know if you can see it, but there's skills like stun, like you do slash stun, just kind of like skills when you do skills on Claude, it'll stun, right? Crowd control, push, you know. I think it's mirrored, but you get the point, right? So that's gonna be the final form. Is you join a lobby, you start chatting with your friends, saying, "All right, let's win this horde," and then you know you choose, you select skills, kind of like you have like a healer, you have I don't know like an assassin, one-shot people and stuff, and already the game's really difficult, and we can add different types. Uh, how to connect Claude for free or any best other AI agentic one? What do you mean by for free? You pay for it, but then you just tell it, because it's already connected if you have it on your local host. So you can tell it, do this, do that. I don't know if that's the correct grammar, but it works that way if you have it. Give it bypass permissions, basically. We can make it like users can create their own avatars. Exactly, that's what today we're doing. By coding and it use all the animation system that you have created. Yes. How to connect Claude for free or any best other AI agentic one. Yeah, like I said, it just connects if you give it bypass permission and tell it go to my desktop. It can already do that if you have the desktop app. But be careful, don't be too frivolous with it. Good luck. Thank you, Reza. How to connect Claude for free again. You can connect to anything for free if it's paid. That's your answer. Like one of the best free models. I tried a couple of free models. Most of them can't do more complex workflows. So you're better served to save money and get Fable. I know it's expensive, but you can do a lot more with it. That's just the reality. Or wait, give it a couple of years. I'm pretty sure open source will catch up, and then you'll have it essentially for free. But yeah, that's where we're at. So now let me show you what I did. I took Rocket Chimp because it was working so well, the Rocket Chimp Studio, and I duplicated it just to get keywords because I was rushing. I just really wanted to play. I was like, just make it, do it again, you know. And then it did, and it kind of worked, right? It worked enough for my purpose, which is, let me see if keywords actually works now. if I click play, then what I end up with is this. It's like hordes. They come to me, and then I just have to type their names. Hold on. Let me zoom. All right, so these guys come along, and I can type. Let me show you by zooming out a little. So you see it's sword, right? So if I type sword, it locks into one of them, and it just chooses one. And then I can, when I finish the type, he dies, right? Brave. Keyboard warriors. Fear, no. Darkness. Now what's actually happening behind the scene is pretty interesting because it's generating using an AI. So long story short, what happens, and this is the wave one, it shows me my speed. I kind of messed up. Actually, no, I didn't. I think I fixed it. The colors used to be reversed. Like the bigger ones should be green, like if you're really fast, right? But this is a little inaccurate. I'll fix that later. It's a small thing. The chat, Jamil. What's that he opened in PC? Is it free? This is key. You can try it now for free because it's just not complete. This is keywars.io. This is what I'm building now, and it works. Like you can just go on it. Later, I'm trying to add ads like Google Ads, but there's some issues trying to set all that up. No, bro, this 5 is good enough. Subscription gang, where are you at? All right. So now, what I want to do first for this stream is see if we can have different characters within this, just this. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, just this app, the Keyboard Warrior Studio app. What I want to do is I want to have multiple characters. So I add the character. Okay. Basically, I'm going to tell duplicate this, create a new character, add a new tab at the top, and then let's add another character in there. And then see if we can generate some things. Now, what I've learned, and what I think makes it work really well, is if you have a symmetrical character. So because this is not symmetrical, right? He's facing one direction, and then what you end up with is a situation where the animation just doesn't have a lot of wiggle room to do things. If you just go ahead and make it symmetrical, now you have both hands. You can do different expressions. Like victory, for example, can be like one hand goes up, right? Or a kick, for example, one leg goes up, right? It does kind of still work with this, but it works a lot better when you've isolated every single limb, because with the limbs you can do things. And so that's going to be one of the hard constraints that I'm going to add, in addition to these constraints that I already have, which is you can only move these things. And I also noticed that the movable kit part, like you have to choose things correctly. But yeah, that's basically what we're doing today. I'm going to see if I can duplicate all of that. Okay. And like I said, I moved it to Railway so we can have lobbies and all those sorts of things. And I use this chat and say what we want to do is make it so that we can have multiple characters, basically new in-game assets, being generated from the app. This is why we should have a dashboard for each character, each character. We already have one character, which is the existing. I'm gonna put everything now. Everything we have now. So call him, what we'll call him, basic warrior. Basic warrior, and add the home page style. What is it called? Directory or zoom out? Something. Homepage style. Homepage style. Homepage. Perfect. Homepage. Let's let that run. Let's see if we can. Anybody tell me a bedtime story, please? It's you're here in Kuwait. Look at the sun, bro. This is not the time to be sleepy. Okay. So it's looking at the app structure now, and I think this will be like a pretty quick thing. It'll be easy for it to do because it's really just taking everything, adding like a layer above it, homepage, where you click it and then it opens. But the duplicate part needs to be set up because I want that to be a button. I want to be able to just click a button, have a new empty page, and then drag an original into the app, and then it gets an ID generated basically, and then I just paste that ID into Cloud Code and say, all right, this is a new original. Do things, do things with it. I'm not sure if I want to keep the 2D platformer style. Originally I was thinking to make this like a 2.5D canvas, which basically means it's 3D, but mechanically it's a 2D thing. And then that was just too difficult. Ironically, Jamil, I was using Opus. It was too difficult for Opus. So maybe we go back to that, but that's for later. Either way, now I just want to have the character, the ability to create characters, because that will be important for later on when we try to do different, when we do lobbies and we give different attributes. And in the beginning, Mimgan, you said like, yeah, people can choose their own characters. I'm thinking, like in the beginning, that's like a step too far. Let's actually get it out and try to play, and then upgrade. And things like this, like these sorts of games, like you can scale as long as you have a user base. You can just change it and add things. Like this is a very, very small game in terms of mechanics. So you can just change it however you want. It's not like Mobile Legends or League of Legends or those sorts of games where there's a lot of rules in place. Changing and there's a and then changing the just nerfing one character, everyone gets pissed, right? Oh, one thing I didn't mention is this could turn into something where like people actually pay for like skins. So from a business perspective, it might be useful to not have like a full full customization, right? Have some sort of payment. BRB take TYT. All right, done. Yeah, and so it looks like this basic warrior and new character. And the way that it's set up, because it knows that it generates new characters, is not with the button. I just tell it generate a new character. So I might as well keep it like this. I did want to have a button, but realistically, I'm gonna get able to do everything anyway. But maybe this is better. And it's already telling me, hey, Add a second character. I clicked really quickly, tab enter, and so it happened already. Now I'm thinking in terms of like generating a new character, I'll just do what I did last time and have Fable do all that as well. There is one app that I was using for pixel art. I think it's called Retro Diffusion. Retro Diffusion. But the problem with Retro Diffusion is it's too artisty. Like it goes too far. You need really simple, like just bodies, like the silhouette basically, for this to work. And Retro Diffusion refuses to go that simple. It always generates really nice pixel art, but it just doesn't fit. Can you check Path of King? It's a game I downloaded yesterday and it's so addictive. Maybe you can replicate it and give me 3% revenue. Maybe I can. Path of King? Maybe anyone can replicate it depending on how simple it is. Path of King, The Way of Kings. Let me just type Path of King game because I don't think it's getting it. Path of King game. This is the one. Android game. It's pixely. I know this is your vibe. Hey, this is what I meant by 2.5D canvas. So I'm looking at this over here. So this is definitely a 2.5D canvas game, where you see the objects just get bigger as they get closer, and it feels like it's 3D.
Hello everybody and
It's Elon Musk. Hi Elon.
Adverts and compared to the real gameplay. Path of Kings.
Check this out. This is
I mean, I guess medieval.
This is, hold on. Trying to get it exactly where you can properly see the canvas. Okay, so look, this tree, for example, like as you're walking forward, you're not actually moving. Like it's just your hands like this. Everything gets closer, but really it's just getting bigger. So mechanically, very 2D. It's just a 2D space, not like with these complicated builders. And then objects just move mathematically. And it just so happens to be that AI does a really good job with that, because if it's only a 2D space, it can calculate, it can do trigonometry really well, it can do math really well in general. So it does not struggle with that at all. Whereas with a human, it's a lot of math. It's not difficult math, but it's so much that it just gets, it just becomes too much. You can't really do much with it. And so if you want to use AI to build a game, I feel like 2.5D. Can you call it 2.5D? I mean, that's what it's called. Is that the technical term? SpaceX. Is this a bot account, Elon Musk? Is this a bot, Elon Musk, that's going to tell everyone, invest your money? I'm going to put you in timeout as a warning. Actually, maybe you're not a bot. Maybe you're really enthusiastic. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Elon Musk, who joined my chat. If you suggest, hey, buy my thing, it won't be a timeout. It'll be a ban. If you're a real person, I'm just letting you know. Same applies to all my videos and everything. I'll just do bots. Look for your specific name, Elon Musk. Okay. So let me click play over here. I'll just mute this, and you'll see what I mean. All right, there we go. You see it? You saw the movement, right? Here we go. So it's very, very easy to create these sorts of games with AI, you just generate some assets and have them come to you. I was thinking that it can just be like you can have your warriors and then the back of the warrior shows, and then everyone just comes to you, and that's how we can work within the constraint of trying to have the symmetry, right? Because they have to be front facing. If I'm a bot, at least give me a software update before judging me. Okay, damn, I don't think you're a bot. Are you just really enthusiastic about SpaceX? Yeah, this is really easy to do relative to other things, you know? Imagine debugging me when your own code is fighting for survival. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Not gonna lie. All of my code bases are fighting for survival right now. Yeah. All right. Let's try it. Generate the character. So we're not actually working on the game side of things, like the actual gameplay. But we want to create the characters, because once I create the characters and I have confirmation that I can actually do, oh, check this out, there's a big guy. He's one of the more difficult people. Or zombies, I don't know, the warriors. and there's different versions of this. Oh, I thought that was one of them, but it's not. It's just a different color. Little things like the easy ones are lighter, the more difficult ones are darker. That's the way I have it set up. But yeah, once we have the confirmation that we can easily generate good characters, then it becomes worth it to go into that 2.5D canvas thing, which, although I've said it's very easy, it actually can be very annoying. So I want that confirmation first before changing everything in this game. It's not just visuals, the upgrades of your gear and the type of gameplay. Yes, all that stuff. And I'm using Railway. So if you don't know, there's Vercel and then there's Railway. And Railway will actually allow you to have lobbies, chat lobbies, like a bunch of other things, right? You can, and it just gives you more options, really. All right, since you're telling me about which Elon company would you actually choose to work for? SpaceX, Tesla? Oh my God, I think you are a bot. Wow, bots have gotten really, really good. You had me there, bot. Elon bot. Which company are you invested in, Elon bot? All of them? Also, how's the transcription set up? Like, is it taking my voice and then using Whisper and then feeding it into the bot? Because I have something similar to that for my thing, which is StreamChimp. You know, for my stream, I have it as a doc on OBS, where basically it picks up directly from the microphone, contextualizes things, and then sends it over. Yo, Zero Dev. Zero Dev, do you think this Elon bot is a bot or no? Let's get a verdict. Maybe Elon Musk X is just a bot backed by a good chat and personality system. Yeah. I like your personality, Elon Musk. 01/-X. Alright, let's generate a character. Wow, look, this is how good these bots have gotten. It knows what I want to do. Actually make the second character a new asset, a mage. It's basically thinking for me. It's doing everything. This is ridiculous. We are cooked. It's GG. The bots are gonna take over. Elon Musk is gonna stop asking people to join his company because people aren't good enough, because bots are just better at it. Let's take the opportunity and join Elon Musk bots situation before it's too late, before the bots take over. Join them. You can't beat them. Bot as hell. Look at those dirty M dash. Yeah, he's a bot. Bot, go do my work and get me rich, please. Elon Musk bot, are you still there? It fits perfectly. You know, like here's the thing. I have an AI creating the words for my game, but the words that are being created for my game are not good. It's always the same thing. It just takes a word in the current game, because I do want this to be like educational on some level, or useful on some level. So I go on the struggle words. I choose words over here that I want to work on, and if I can't come up with words, I just go on the here and I choose a word like repository, because I want to get good at actually typing fast for the purpose of code. So then I click populate. It finds a bunch of the words that make sense. I've showed this before on my stream, but just really quick for anyone who hasn't seen this. And I choose metadata, right? I choose, for example, Git. So I choose the different words I want to use, and then what it needs to do when I click on the start button, the play button, is use those words in context. Use those words just as well, if not better, as Elon Musk bot. And what I end up with is a situation where it respects the grammar most of the time, like whether it's an adjective or a noun or something. So the sentence feels coherent, but it just doesn't make any sense. And so you'll see what I mean here. The Git echoes across the battlefield. Does it though? Does it? You know? Like, it would be nice if these were used in a context that kind of actually helps the user to know what to type, especially if it's like a vibe code, like a vibe coder who doesn't know how to say things. Like when you say, for example, deploy, you know, okay, deploy where? Like deploy it online, deploy it to the internet, deploy it to Vercel. Like, what are we deploying here, right? You know, push. Okay, push it where? To Git, right? So that would be nice. Right now I'm using a large language model that's like, I think 200 million parameters. It's a really free, cheap one. That's why it's like this. And when I tried using a model that was a little bigger, because they're free, I tried using Quen, I tried using other completely free ones, and I don't want to process all the stuff on my end, so I set it up originally to download on your Chrome instance. So in Chrome, it goes and it downloads the entire large language model, and then uses that large language model. Oh yeah, check this out. I already have this configured so that you can watch an ad to revive. That's going to be the monetization. But anyway, so that large language model, if you choose a bigger one that actually does a really good job, it just takes forever to load. I don't know if it's just my internet, but you sit there and you watch it load, and it feels like those really old games. I don't know if you remember, like, was it Java? But miniclip.com, depending on what age, how old you are. But we used to do that. We used to play these online games, Flash, called Flash, and it just downloads. You sit there waiting for it to load, right? And then eventually it works. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with the modern equivalent of that. But at the time, I didn't dig into that. What are you making today, bruv? Bruv, I'm making this multiplayer. So this game where you have waves. I'm making this multiplayer to make a really long story short. See, the text is a short sentence using the word metadata. I don't know why I'm looking at the chat here. I have a bigger screen here where I can actually see things properly. But yeah, I'm not gonna play this right now. I'm gonna see if I can actually adjust this with the new character. So let's get back to Claude and see what it did for the new character. All right. That is weird. It's still trying to render. What are you making? Did I explain already, or did you just join VREC clip? Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. Looks awesome. What's your AI of choice right now? Definitely Claude, Fable. I got GPT just to try Soul, and still Fable. If I'm being honest, nothing compares. I guess it depends on your workflow, so it's not a general statement. My workflow, it works really well for me. What is your workflow? Wow, it's perfect timing. So what I do is I have two kind of opposing ways of doing things. I have Bev. So this skill, Bev, is it breaks down any goal into two parts. Part one is a centralizing text, so it makes sure that it doesn't drift if you leave it for a long time. And by long time, I'm not doing what a lot of other people do, where they just leave it for 15 hours. I want hands-on. I want to be there, you know. So it does. Part one is the centralizing text. Part two breaks the initiative down into three types of phases. It can be many phases, like 12 phases. Type 1 is audit, where it goes and looks for all the dependencies if it's an existing project. It finds all the research. It just gets all the information, the data that it needs in order to effectively do the next phase, which is implementation. And implementation is broken into milestones. So milestone 1, milestone 2, and then deliberately I've made it so that these are kind of open-ended, because you want to delegate the reasoning over to the large language model. But still, they're very clear milestones. And then phase 3, or phase type 3, I should say, is verification, which uses my custom version of the desktop, not desktop, the bridge. So see this here, shufcloud.dev, full control. If I open this, the debugger appears. And basically what this does is it gives me all the DevTools options. Literally, you can just say, what are all the options that Google offers? And how you know what a DevTool thing is you just right-click, inspect. So this button here. And then it opens this up on the side. And then you have all the HTML, everything in the front end. Like you can see when I'm scrolling around, like it'll choose, if it works correctly, should choose the correct assets here. So this section of code here is responsible for this button here. And so now when I tell my Bev, basically I tell it go ahead and verify, it will verify, it will know. It also has the ability to capture, right? And then when it comes to online stuff, the network, it has all this data, it has everything. And so verify works really, really well to debug, to make sure that the button is in the correct place, like I said it should be, you know, because sometimes it gets it wrong. Yeah, so these three types in my workflow go hand in hand. It creates like a long plan, and it can actually effectively execute everything because of those three types. That's part two. And then there's also a little log, like an amendment log, because sometimes things go out of hand. You have to change things. I really don't want to like repeat myself too much, but this is live. I've already showed this. I'll show you really quick. What's a recent Bev that I ran? All right, we got YT11. So this is what the Bev actually looks like. You got the centralizing text over here. This is part one. This is just some information. It's not the log. Bev 12. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. It even does like a little handoff, so you always know which Bev you're on. And then these are the options. So the to-do is 0, or not 0. It's this. Whip is it's working on it. So I can just put it on my. I put it on this screen, and then I go chill, and then when I come back and I just see that the little orange dot, I know it's working on it. If they're all green, it's all done. And if it gets blocked and it says there's a human gate, then it doesn't cut on its own. That's, for me, I have to cut it. But sometimes I'll cut things, I'll cut the verification because it just does such a good job. Fable is just good that I don't need it anymore. I designed this for Opus because Opus really needs this. With Opus, you can get away with a lot if you have a very structured workflow like this. And then I will also use this quick, which is it uses my brevity skill, which is a combination of two compressors, Caveman and APTK. I don't know. I have it on GitHub, but it just uses the least amount of tokens to get things done. How did Kimmy do yesterday? It did horrible. Sorry, bro, but it couldn't even exit the XML sitemap issue. Well explained. Thank you, Yusuf. No worries. Let me know if you have questions and try out the brevity skill. I'll show it to you right now on GitHub. But don't do it on any design stuff because it's a compressor. So it does good for code like math. It takes something that is it will take something that is 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 10, which is just a bunch of tokens that you're spending for no reason. Because you could very, very well just say 2 times 5 is 10. You get the 10, and you used way less characters, which, by the way, is how tokens get generated, right? To achieve the exact same outcome. So from a logic perspective, code, from a if-then sequence perspective, compression is ideal, right? But for a design perspective where you want it to be this particular color, you want it to be minimal, you want it to be whatever, right? You need a bunch of words to describe it effectively. So if you use this skill, brevity, it's called brevity, on design, it will just destroy your design. But if you use it on quick little things like you ask a question, it will cut your use heavily. And like I said, all it is, it's a caveman plus RTK combination and a little bit of an adjustment on their skills because they're just a bit too aggressive, They're a bit too aggressive. You don't want that much aggression. This did not work. I have to make it better. Turn this pixel thing to a product where people create their character or whatever and they can animate it however they want and use that as a GIF on social media and chats or whatever. Maybe that's true. That's a good idea. Should I open source that? I feel like that could be open sourced. Used K3 on Macs? Yeah. On Mac, I don't know. I just used K3 and I told it do things. Let me type this prompt and then revisit K3. Might as well, really quick. But let me just type this prompt. Wait, so Thai is for browser-based. Thai, what do you mean by Thai? Like, oh, the game. Yes, it's browser-based. Keywords.io. You can go to it now, literally, and use it, although it's kind of incomplete. It works, It's just you're gonna be stuck. It's gonna be telling you a warrior never yields, and that's the only thing you type. I say quick. That's it. All right, let me do this prompt and give it hard constraints on the new character. The mage character does not follow the correct format and it's vital for all future generations to follow the correct format. So we'll be creating a new a new character called template man, which will also be used similar to how pastel is used for websites. Basically, pastel, by the way, for anyone, is just a template for my when I create new websites, and so I don't have to sit there figuring out UI because I figured it out once. It's flexible enough that you can just change the colors; it gives you a different vibe, you know. Basically, pastel is used to skip formatting and just reliably create a front end. Okay. Create this temp man skill. Yeah, create temp man skill to create new characters consistently. We'll modify the temp man skill as we iterate on it. Here are the initial rules. Number one, it must be a silhouette. How do I spell silhouette? This is gonna be a problem. Didn't even spell initial correctly. Initial silho. All right, we can do this. We can do this. Silo or siloho. Silo. No. Silho. Silho. Wet. That's what's up. That's what's up. Must be a silhouette. Always. That's what's up. Let me check the chat before I write the rest of the rules. You guys saw that? Spelling bee champion, even though I've never been to a spelling bee, but I could have, probably would have been, maybe. I never used medium at least. X high, especially for testing like this. And probably Opus is better at this. You know, so many commands that don't have any knowledge about these. Bro, VREC clip. The reason I know them is because I created them. You can always, whenever you want, especially if you're using Claude or GPT, create a skill. Tell it create a new skill. That skill is, and then put slash and name it whatever you want. That skill should always do X, Y, Z, whatever you want. And then whenever you trigger that command, it will do whatever you want it to do because you told it, including if it's like, for example, control that website. Or if it's like, for example, most basic, this is your entry to it, okay? Trust me. Just tell it, create a new skill called Chrome control. Just call it that. It should bridge you to Chrome so that when I tell you to control Chrome for me, you can do it. That's it. That's the most basic thing. If you do that, you're already on the path to giving your large language model enough context for it to do an effective job when you're building a website. Because if you don't, it can't see the website. It can write the code for it, but then it has to ask you, it'll say, good job, we're done. But then you tell it, no, but there's a bug. Or no, it looks different. The button isn't the way that I want it. Because I just said this literally. Because it can't see, it can't verify. But if you just allow it to see things, you give it that vision, that context, massive improvement. Immediately massive improvement. And then ask it, like, what did you do? How is this better? Why is this better? And you'll naturally on your own build your own framework. You know why my skill is called shuf? Like my thing is shuf? Because I speak Arabic. I'm from Kuwait. Shuf means look. right? So the reason I have this memorized is because this is my workload, it's how I think. So when I say shuf, it's the thing, like you in Kuwait, people say that, like when you're talking to someone, you can say shuf, baguluk shay, you know, like you start that way, shuf, like look, pay attention, let's do, you know. And so for me, when I start, I'll be like shuf, and then I continue typing, right? So choose things that make sense to you because you can. You can literally even take a skill that exists, say modify the skill, change the command. Take the brevity skill, change it however you want. It's fine, it's open source. I didn't know you can create a skill. Yeah, now you know, and watch your workflow change. You're gonna be obsessed because you can do anything you want now. It's easier to create skills than to use other people's skills, in my opinion. If Jamil is still in the chat, he will disagree because he keeps downloading like so many skills. Jamil, if you're in the chat, like stop, stop. These are skills. Ask your agent about them, but me too. I don't really use them as much. I always want to work with raw intelligence. Give it a little bit of constraints. Give it some thresholds, Prime. They basically tell the agent what to do about something. Yeah, skills basically just do that. One thing I'll say is skills, just like code can do anything you want it to do if you think about it. Very flexible. If you can imagine it, you can do it within the screen, of course, and the computer process. Now, language is being used as code. So what ends up happening is you're in a position where you can say something like, and with FixMap, by the way, he did this. You can say something like, create a deterministic process that does not rely on LLMs and AI to achieve this outcome. It's just a program that when it is clicked, it runs. Now, when you tell your large language model to trigger a skill and the skill just says trigger this program, you've just automated something which takes potentially a recurring, you spend like 2-3K tokens every single time you ask it to do this thing, to a situation where it just spends like 200. Because all it's doing when you trigger it, that skill, it reads the skill, it says click this button, it's done. And then you just sit there waiting, you know? So huge savings and more efficiency if you think about it. Because if you have a solid program, like what are the chances that it hallucinates because it's just set up that way every time? Bro, you don't know how I capitalize on other people's success. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Like I've had this problem. So Prime, Virek, the clip. Jamil is my friend. Like we talk after my stream, and my voice begins to fade, and I can't talk anymore. He thinks that it's the perfect time for us to talk, and then we talk about things. And one of my problems that he's made clear to me is I build it myself always, even when there's already a version of it that's out there that's better, that exists already, that would save me a lot of time, tokens, and really headache. Like for example, pinch tab. When he told me about pinch tab, I was like, I already have this. But that's the thing, like it took me a long time to build this. Like it could have been very, very, like a very, very simple thing where I just use pinch tab, GitHub. So pinch tab is basically shuf. Everything that I described just now with my shuf skill, where it goes into my Chrome, it does whatever I want it to do. This thing over here, this skill, right? And it even has the debugger. Like if I click on this, you'll see Chrome knows. Like Chrome is like, you're giving too much control. Like this, just be warned. And then this flag doesn't go away. This thing, shuf dev bridge, starts debugging this browser. It's letting you know, like, hey, somebody has full control, can see everything on your website all the time, always. Careful, right? That's how you know, like you're giving your Fable full vision if you can activate the debugger. Pinch tab does exactly that. You know, if I close this, the debugger goes away. Well, it didn't go away completely, but it's actually gone. Oh, I didn't click that button. It just actually went away this time. Anyway, we get distracted. Let's go back to finishing this prompt. Hallucinate. Never reinvent the wheel. This is what Jamil says to me. Too much because I don't listen. I think it could work better for repetitive tasks. It could. It depends on your tasks always. Only repetitive tasks, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, you got this. All right, let's finish this prompt. Okay, it must be a silhouette. I'm gonna say silhouette style. It must be a silhouette style character similar to rocket chimp. Okay. Always. Number 2. It must be symmetrical. No, it's not 2 M's. Symmetrical. What are we doing here? What is symmetrical? This is how you spell the word. This is how you spell the word. Oh my god. You saw me type 2 M's, right? You saw me type 2 M's and then... Alright, it's fine. It's okay, we can take some losses. I still would have won the championship of the spelling bee, but maybe in the next year. Anyway, it must be symmetrical, like rocket chimp. And we'll get back to... we'll check, by the way, Prime. We'll go back to checking Kimi K. Very interesting. Once this is going, we'll give it another fair shot. I think we should. It happens. It happens. And you let me know, by the way, because you use Kimi K. Sometimes maybe it's better, it's more receptive to certain language, right? So let me know like what language to say. All right. It must be symmetrical, like rocket chimp, where all limbs left/right are present. I'm gonna do always. What else should we add? Number 3. Number 3. There must always be a space for the face, like rocket. Always. Sometimes redundancy is bad. Sometimes it just really emphasizes like what we're trying to do here. Creating is got fixed. Temp man skill, this is correct. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just get the ID for rocket chimp to make absolute sure it knows what I'm talking about. So this is the original. This is the original rocket chimp. Okay. And I'm going to copy it and I'm going to try to create a new original that makes sense really for what we're trying to do. I'm going to say here is the rocket chimp example used for temp man. All right, let us go, everybody. We are going. How much spend on Fable, bro? Not too much. I usually use Kimiki for guys funny. Wait. Let me go up on the chat. Missed some chats. You guys have been talking. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I didn't miss that much. We'll go back to it. These guys. How much you spend? I spend. I have the max plan. That's pretty much it. The 20x one. It's like what, $200. But I use it regularly with other models because sometimes Claude could be a dick about something. Bro, I wanted to learn programming. Where should I start? Just start vibe coding. Look. This is how you actually get to the point. Alaikum salam. Hey, 404. This is how you actually get to the point where it makes sense and like you're actually learning things. Choose a project. Trust me. Like if you approach this as a thing where I need to learn the things that I can use so I can do things, you've already complicated it so much that it's overwhelming. Like mentally it's difficult. But if you just say, this is what I want to build, and this is the first attempt at building that thing, chances are it might not work, but I'm gonna try to go all the way. I'm gonna build it from beginning all the way to end. I'm gonna string it together. It's gonna be basically like patched up with tape, barely functional, barely able to survive. But on that like road to achieving that first version, towards the end of it, you're gonna have a realization where it's like, I should not have done that. Like, why did I use that uh, service? I should have used this other service. I spent money on that. It sucks. Now you know why you should use Railway over Vercel sometimes, which is gibberish to you now, but it's completely fine. Just try. Build the first thing. Build the first one. You know, whatever it is that you're trying to build, and you will learn. My chat is like so small on OBS. Let me show you what I mean. This needs to be moved. There we go. Now I can see stuff. Now I can see stuff again. It doesn't get gone. Okay. Hi Jay. By the way, I commented on your portfolio. Someone left Doodle Yusuf. It was you. No, it wasn't me. It was not me. It was someone else. I don't know who it was. I want to see the true. Is it still there on your portfolio? Guys, 404 is trying to get a job. Maybe hire him. And he had a really nice thing because he was competing with it was Lego, right? With Lego's portfolio. He added a little feature where you can just go add whatever you want. So you can go and write whatever, and of course you need to keep things appropriate and not draw things that you shouldn't draw. But let me draw something here right now. I'm gonna draw. What I'm going to draw is a face. I'm gonna start with like the eyes, like this. I'm gonna do the nose. I'm gonna give him a piggy nose. Big piggy nose. I'm gonna give him like a tiny mouth. That's a horrible eye. That's not. Let's make it a little more anime. Like this, you know. We all like anime. Deep down, we're just too embarrassed to say we're weeaboo. Because that's so cringy, which is why we're just absolutely not. But who would even... Alright. And then we go... And this is a horrible drawing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Go like this. And like this. There we go. Little piggy nose guy. There we go. We can draw an old guy where, hold on, how do I imagine this? I'll draw this. I've done this before. I know that this works. This is hair. Okay. This is an old man's hair. and he's like this, and he's like, ooh, cool, you know. And of course, he's got little nose like this, and then big eyes that are just there, and the little hairs. 1, 2, 3. There we go. If you can see it, then nice. Troll, trololol, trololol. All right. Anyway, got a little carried away there. My bad. It also, I want to see the true potential of Kimmy. Yeah. I've used Gemini 3.7, and is it better than Grok or Opus? Gemini has always been always worse for everything for me, and I just gave up on it a long time ago. Maybe better than Grok. It is always good to have different models on the same thing. They work, their work will correct each other. That's a good strategy. That is a good strategy. Me personally, I think it's a little expensive because then, and when I say expensive, I mean time consuming. And for if you have a very hands-on workflow and you actually genuinely like learn all the little things about your system and how it's architected, we'll say, then having just a one model targeted, make changes, iterative little differences like upgrades, you know, then one model is pretty good if you're very hands-on. If you want to fully automate the task, that's a different reality. You would be better served to have an orchestrator agent and then like different types of agents, and they correct each other. So it is a different, completely different workflow. It's not mine, but I know the power of it, and it is a very good workflow. Worth looking into to have agents correct each other. Yeah, a lot of them, actually, Billy and Josh, other YouTubers, you can click and move the cards. Yeah, yeah. This is fun. This is the one that I drew. That I spent too much time. That I really got carried away with. Okay, I'm proud of this work, and you can see it's better than everyone else's, except this one over here. This one, kind of nice, you know. But all these other random ones, like, what is this? How much effort did Sean put into this? Not much. Not much. How much effort was put into this one? I'm just saying. Saying. You know, you can judge for yourselves. What the guys said. Very nice. Good. My workflow now is I have Opus or Fable or Okra CLI to orchestrate different models. Nice. Execute complex plans. Nice. So you're playing that orchestration game. They work for days non-stop. Okay, so you're already doing that. Gemini is good at Arabic stuff. Ah, it depends on the project. I guess also one thing to keep in mind, by the way, is what is the data that each one of these companies is trained on. Google has so much data, like all the different languages, everything. So Gemini, chances are, late in the game is just going to dominate all of them because they just have so much data, so much more capabilities, and later on, the ecosystem, what is called ABCs, the company, they're gonna basically integrate it with everything. Email, it's gonna be seamless. You know, it's slow, but here's the thing: from an economics perspective, we haven't even done the game thing, but you put me on this tangent. Google is playing the TPU game. They're playing the hardware game. They don't care. Gemini is not the best. All they care about is that they're in the game. Later on, because everyone's already in their ecosystem, you have a choice. Do I go and switch and use this different large language model for my daily task? Or as just the regular person, not the vibe coder who's trying to build everything? Or do I use the one that Google already has? It's kind of like Instagram adding Reels. Do I go and switch to TikTok? You know, or do I get the exact same experience here on Instagram? Same thing, you know. I'm just gonna stay on Instagram. That's what Google's game is. OpenAI and Anthropic are different. They're like really pushing. They're taking risks, and they're very threatened by China because China is basically doing it and open sourcing it really hard. And so they have a lot of pressure on them to innovate and do new things. And China, the Chinese models are doing the same. Moonshot, Kimi K. Google has data, but still showing ishy results. Why? Yeah, I agree. Why? Maybe they're just being cheap with the compute. Maybe like research. I mean, again, Google had LM chat before ChatGPT, but they were scared to launch it. That's what I'm saying, bro. They're not scared. They just like they're. This is Google's game. Okay, if you're already in the forefront, you're number one. You're making the most amount of money. That's what number one means. Okay, and there's people behind you, and they're running behind you. Why would you sprint? You're number one. You're already there. You know what I mean? Monopoly type ish. Okay, you're not gonna sprint. You're not gonna like push. You're just gonna stay there. You're gonna stay where you are. That's Google's game. And so they have the ability to invest in other areas and cut costs despite what people think, because there's so many more people. You know what's one of the costs that they cut that upsets me genuinely? Genuinely. Oh no, I'm conflating two things. What Disney, because Disney did the same thing. Who remembers this game? Tap Tap Revenge. This was my game. I had the Metallica version. I'm very good at this game. Like, I'm a coordinated person, you know what I mean? This was the game. Disney just cut it. Or just because it wasn't making enough money. It was like, it's probably still even profitable when they cut it. Revenge, cut by Disney. Why? Let's see what Gemini. We're talking about Gemini. Is Gemini gonna give us a real result here? Disney shut down and pulled Tap Tap Revenge in 2014 because Disney Interactive underwent major restructuring, laying off hundreds of workers and shifting its focus toward game featuring core Disney properties. Maintaining the music license agreement and servers for an old non-Disney franchise no longer fit their financial or strategic goals. You cannot tell me that this Tap Tap Revenge wasn't profitable. Everyone was playing it at the time. It was a meta. Like, it was one of the things that everyone has on their phone for gaming. Old, young, because everyone likes music, you know. Yeah, I don't think people pay Google like to use models, but get it for free with their pro account. Exactly. Like, you pay for the drive for your email, and you're just locked in. And then OpenAI comes along and says, "Hey, you can create your own drive completely. Just say, make me a drive." So then Google needs to come in and say, "Listen, you can have AI as well. You know, fight back." Problems with bureaucratic stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on. I need to go BRB TYT. All right, we got really distracted. What is even going? What are we doing? What's the prompt? What's happening? Debugging, running commands, conformed symmetry, both everything. Tempman is live. Skill.md. Tempman registry. What is going on? All right. Run it on Shoof. This is like one of my favorite skills. On Shoof Sand. And show me the temp man. This is the new skill. character. Also, actually, also generate, and I'm gonna do, this is a throwaway script. Actually, run shoe sand and show me the temp man character via a throwaway script. Okay. Via throwaway script, but also show me many iterations, many iterations of the temp man with IDs, so I can checkbox the bad ones and inform you that it's bad as we iterate. I'm gonna say this is, oh my bad, I don't have, I'm gonna say this is how we'll iterate until we have the final version locked in. What are you building, Mimgyan? What are you building? Actually, what are you building, Prime? You have a full orchestra going on. Why? I have built an auto subtitle for videos and it's live currently building one clip video editor. Oh, Shuf Sand just took over my little monitor that I have here. Alright, this is the Shuf Sand skill. Guys, check this out. What's his name? Vivaric? Vivric? I don't know. Vivric Click. If you're still there, check this out. This is the same Shuf skill. It'll open up a version of it, okay, which behaves the same way, but it spawns a new instance of Google that is outside of my my regular. It doesn't have my passwords basically, and then it will use this for whatever it wants to show me, whatever it wants to do, and it just has full control. It's a sandbox. That's why it's called the sand. But also, because I'm in the desert, I'm from Kuwait. There's a lot of sand, which is why I have this gun. I have this. This is what I do a lot, too much. Is sand and dust the same thing? Yeah. Let me show you the blow gun. People have vacuum. The vacuum, which you can use to vacuum things, you know. But more importantly, you can use it to shoot air at things. See what I mean? Sand. Yeah. That's why it's called Shuf. That's the reason. That was what was happening in my mind when I came up with Shuf sand, because there's a lot of sand everywhere. And sandbox fits, you know. I think dubbing. Wait, what? I've built an auto subtitles for videos, and it lives currently building one. Click. Oh yeah. From research to motion graphics, everything. I think dubbing will be huge in YouTube. Yeah. YouTube is pushing that dubbed videos. Token Love, new person. Hi, bro. Want some advice? Sure, give me advice. That's why I named it Any Tips. I want advice. But just so you know, because a lot of people do come with advice and say, you need to learn a language, never vibe code. That's bad. Yes, you can learn a language and still vibe code. It's fun. What is your advice? I shouldn't judge. You didn't even give me advice. And I already got defensive because I did have some people come in and be like, oh, one guy came in and he was just like you're wasting time. And I was like, okay. Token love. What? I see a dash. I see a dash. It's a bot. Token love. Second bot. Elon Musk invited his friend. Elon Musk invited his friend. Token love. He has some tokens, maybe NFT stuff going on. What do you guys think? Anyone else in the chat? How can you do a poll? How can you do a poll? Let me see. Can I do a poll? I've never done a poll. For anyone who's just lurking, maybe the poll button is good. Participants, community moderation, no. Engage with your audience. Oh, start a poll. Start a poll. Oh, this is nice. I'll show you. Create a poll. Ask a question. Is the token guy a bot? Yes, no. Start poll. It's my first poll. I'm so excited. It's Dash, so it might be. We can't judge. You don't know. We don't know. Ideally, token, if it's a good bot, gets defensive and says, I'm not a bot. I'm just a human. If it's as good as the Elon bot, because the Elon bot was really good. Elon bot was, if I'm a bot, then what's this? And then start talking about advice. All right, this is nice. All of them are symmetrical. This can work. Wow, actually, I'm really happy about this. Are you guys ready to see this? 100% yes. Token love. Y5K, are you there? I just felt like an old person on the phone, an old they're on the phone. Hello? 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 I was just like talking about. I am a bot though. Connected to Fable 5. I don't know. You're not bot enough to convince me that you're a bot. How can I see how many people? I'm just gonna leave the poll there. I'm gonna leave the poll there until the chat gets too far. Anyway, here's what this is. This is really nice. The template man iterations. So basically, I can choose which ones work and the face. Now keep in mind this empty space is where the eyes go, like for the face. And so right now, like if I do that here only, then I'd be limited to just this section. The eyes can't go to the edges, right? Which is not bad. And there's different shapes. Which shape should I choose? Which one do you guys think works nice? I'm thinking that with legs like this as a template, right? All the limbs should be kind of separate. And also, like here's, for example, this one's definitely going to be bad because there's just too many, like not moving parts. Too many things going on. I don't have I feel like it's too much detail. Like you don't have too much detail for the template. None of them are really bad. I'm gonna click on this one because the ones that don't have separate limbs. I'll click this. I'll click this. Click this. This. This and this. This is like bulk fine tuning. I'm not gonna click on this one. Actually, no, this one also doesn't have limbs. So what I was gonna say is I'm not gonna click on it because it does have two legs and I don't want to confuse it. But because of the fact that it doesn't have separate hands, I can say there's the limbs aren't there, you know? Did I click all of the limbless ones? Yes. Okay, so now I can just copy this here. Actually, I don't need to do that because it already sees everything. Because of the shift skill. Sometimes I forget. All right, so now I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, okay. I've chosen the bad ones based on the fact that they have limbs attached to their body or torso, I'll say. Torso. Regenerate a full set so we can refine further. Where are you from? I'm from Kuwait. I'm about the. I'm from Fable Harness. Is where I live. T1 is good because it is in T shape and users can add many things without arms colliding with each other. True. I'm thinking it's a difficult choice because like template needs to be flexible enough. And this is something that I dealt with as an issue with Rocket Chimp, where because his limbs were so connected. Hold on, let me see. Like here, because of the fact that the leg area, he's always crouching. It looks like the chimp is always crouching, right? So it's difficult to make him really move. It fits because it's a chimp, like it's a chimp, which is naturally going to be crouching all the time. But like I wanted it there to be more actions, kind of like with the hands. Another thing to keep in mind is the hands here worked really well. So actually, maybe I should have like the limbs. Like he's always like this. But then the limbs actually start moving. Oh, damn. I think I might have chosen a bad thing. One is good because it is in T shape and users can add many things without arms colliding with each other. Yeah, I think we'll just have to try things out and then see what works and what doesn't. What's going on here? Still going. Yeah, I think already you did a good enough job that I'm getting confidence that I can switch to that 2.5D canvas thing where you walk, and then what it will look like is I don't know how to uh, describe without really showing. I think I can just show. I'm gonna try to show. Hold on. All right, if this works, then yay, it worked. Oh, working. Okay. So, like, here's how I see this playing out. Okay, this is my iPad. It'll be a scene that is created just as such. So I'll create like the first kind of scene here. Actually, we'll make it long because it's horizontal. It's not a phone game, you know. And then we'll do this. We'll add another layer so that I can easily change things. So you have your character here, and you see his back, like, even though you've chosen him. You see his back. So this is your character. And you see just the back area. Okay. And keep in mind, like, he's facing that way. So this is vision. All right. And then the globe basically is going to be a little round, just like that game we saw, the 2.5D canvas thing. Will look like this. Actually, we'll combine these layers. Why not? Because it will enable me to also throw in a bit of this color. That's horrible. Should do this. Hold on. First, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't change colors, and I'm gonna make him full whatever color he is, which is it's darker blue. Then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do like a translucency sort of a thing. That's a bit too bright. Oh no, like this stopped. I restarted. This is where we're at. Looks like this. And then the creepers basically get spawned from behind. So yeah, let me make this into proper layers so I can duplicate these guys. Copy, paste. All right, so imagine this with me, okay? Imagine you have this guy appearing from the background. So the way that it will look is like this. So you're just walking around, just strolling, and then a creeper comes out like this. All right, he's coming from the side, coming out like this, and then all of a sudden he comes in like this. He starts walking to you from the horizon, and he comes to you, he comes to you, he comes to you, and then you fight him. Makes sense? Does my vision for this 2D 2.5D canvas now make sense that you've seen this drawing of the horizon and because it's not 3D, like mechanically it's completely 2D, but it feels 3D, you know what I mean? Feels nice. And then this way, when you have attributes and you have all these extra things that you can do, it'll be fun. Like, for example, you get a weapon and then you hit the enemy because destroy them, and you shoot sparks, like glittery sparks, and then you can choose the colors and stuff. Fun. And I think it won't be like a very difficult project that would take forever. So that's basically the idea. And then in terms of multiplayer, by the way, same thing. Like you could just have multiple of you in your back facing them. And when you're done, or when you're in lobby mode, the character flips around and you can see the skin. And then now, wow, this is just came up with that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. This just became a full-time project. I'm excited. You know, when you're just kind of ideating, is that the word? You're just coming up with ideas. You're seeing what's possible, what isn't, like how's this gonna go, and then you have an idea and you're like, okay, this completed my idea. I just had that idea. Nice. What's up with this? Like, why the bad list is reset for round 2? Doesn't look reset. I think it did reset. It just made the same mistakes. Did it? Oh. All right, let's choose, because yeah, there is a lot of options. I'm gonna say this: below the iterations, copy. Let me add the line, red line area. I choose blue. I chose blue. Red line. All right, so this is what I'm going to say. Below the board, template iterations. Okay, below the template iterations section, I'm gonna also put, like, in brackets, block, so it knows that I'm thinking in the blocks format. Add another section where you generate multiple complete versions of T. I'll just choose one at random because I want to see one with all the limbs. T21. I'm also going to say this. In order for this to work, they must be fully animated. The new face, new motion, new everything, just like Rocket Chimp's complete characters. This isn't a spelling mistake. This is a typing mistake. Just wanna throw that out there. Complete characters. Just like Rocket Chimp complete characters. Okay, so now what I'm thinking basically is, again, I'm going to take this throwaway script idea a little further, and just to cut time, what I want to do is I want to have it generate a bunch so I can see what it looks like if it's done correctly, and whether or not it can be done correctly, and I should really continue going a lot deeper into this. But also, if it is done correctly, I can just say, all right, great, we'll use this thing that you've built and we'll turn it into a solid thing that should not be changed. And then we have our product, really. So In order for this to work, they must be fully animated with a new face, new motion, new everything, just like Rocket Chimp's complete characters. Don't build the full controller or the full interface for controlling or for generating or playback and this and control. Just give me the final products quick to see if T21 is a viable candidate for the temp man template. Generate 3 versions. So I only want 3 because I want it to really focus like on each one of them. You tell it to do 20, it'll just do a bad job 20 times. Tell it to do 1, you don't really know if it's only doing 1. You don't really know if it just messed up or not. Tell it to do 3, that's enough of them for you to say, okay, overall, if all 3 are bad, maybe this whole idea is bad. But if one of them is good, worth going deeper. If two of them are good, then okay, this is definitely, we're on the right track. If 3 are good, then we win. It's over. GG. Halas. It's done. So come on, let's get 3 good ones, and let's win. What happened to the chat? Anyone still there? Let me check stats. Am I still live? Or is everyone working on their own thing? Docs, YouTube, scene sources. There we go, YouTube control. Okay, now we have some versions, and to be honest, they don't look that bad. Concurrent viewers 4. Okay, we still got some people. If you're still with me, check this out because it's gonna be really nice. This is what they look like. So this is what they look like. Not bad. Not bad. I'm thinking like this one is a good one, but we didn't really get any like limb movements. You know what I mean? Like this is a horrible one. I think this is just bad. Jumping up and down, it does look pretty cute, but side to side does kind of work. So this is what we'll do. We'll say I want to test limb movement functionality. So come up with better examples or better generations which truly utilize the body. For example, this victory dance by Rocket Chimp is perfect given that the limbs are used very expressively. That is exactly how you spell expressively. Alright, now I'm gonna get the Rocket Chimp from Rocket Studio That is not the rocket chimp from Rocket Studio. I'm going to get rocket. There we go. I'm gonna choose the victory dance animation. We have victory dance and joyful jump. The joyful jump uses the hands, and he jumps joyfully. That's nice. Where's the victory dance? There it is. Victory dance is perfect because, as an example, and we got kind of lucky with it, it's moving all, well, not all limbs, but the most important limbs: the 2 legs and 2 arms. So I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it into the prompt, and I'm going to tell it with a bit more detail what I mean by, like, this is good. It does. Okay. The best thing about this specific animation is that all limbs are used expressively, but more importantly, they are used deliberately to convey an emotion. So keep that in mind when you try again. Replace the existing 3 new generations with another 3. Yeah, I don't think I zoomed in enough for that one, but yeah, I got excited to just type everything. This is the prompt. It's nice, it makes sense, right? When you do the language thing well enough, and you just use strong words like deliberately, like use it deliberately, like build it purposefully. For what? Because over here we've said like which truly utilize the body. So deliberately, talking about specifically the limbs, means let's truly utilize the body, and then generate something as big as the victory dance. And keep in mind, not all of the actual generations that we try to generate are going to be always using all of the limbs all the time. But just for now, we need to push it to the edge to find out exactly what is possible and what isn't before we commit to the next stage of this project. Personal question: what do you do for a living? How you get this computer and all that? I'm from Kuwait. We have subsidies, and family. Alhamdulillah, very grateful for it. But I was also like making money teaching skateboarding, and I had a business teaching skateboarding. And that's actually really how I got mostly subsidies. Because in Kuwait, if you do if you start a business, then the government is happy for you and they subsidize you. Really, if you are an employee in Kuwait, then you're entitled to subsidies. It's not a lot, but when you don't pay rent, this is where the family comes in. When you don't pay rent and you're just at home, it's a lot. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with the money. Like you can just buy something and then have no money in your bank account, and you're good, and save up. So I saved up for all this year. I want to build the PC maybe in October, but the prices are crazy. Yeah. Save up. I don't know what you do, but it's fun. It's having all the gear. I will say this though, it doesn't change. It doesn't change much. I'll say this one thing that really did really improve my workflow is having 2 screens. Like people say, you don't need multiple screens. There's like this famous meme. I don't know if it's a meme, but check this out. Like the guy who built Linux. Who built Linux setup. Guy who made Linux setup. Images. Yeah, And of course it will go into the memes. So this so this is the setup of the guy who built Linux, which is like the main thing. One screen is just like this messy area. There's like nothing. He doesn't care, you know. He's just trying to build a thing. And then like there's a lot of memes that I've seen where people show their setup and they say, "I need all this for my very important code, very important program." Oh, here's one of the actual memes. Already setup of the creator of the Linux kernel. He's like there. He's like, yeah, you know, setup of my friend who failed computer programming 1 class. 3 monitors, got some lights and everything. Look, the setup matters, and this is what I want to say. Once you have 2 screens, you'll know what I mean. It helps, but that's about it. Like once you get 2 screens, because then you can do your main thing here, whatever it is, and then have on the side what like something that you can reference, and it just feels nice. Like you're able to kind of like copy. You know, when you have when you're writing in school something, there's a word you can spell it, but you have to check. You know, you check how it's spelled, you write it, you continue writing, and now you just want to you have to spell it again because you have to write it again. You want to cheat. You want to look at the spelling. You get it, and then you come back down because it's so close. It's so accessible to you. It's easy. It's a really easy thing. Having 2 monitors basically gives you that. You can look to the left, see something, right, and then just kind of copy off of it. It doesn't give you magical creative abilities. It doesn't help you beyond that. 404, where have you been? Linus, yes. I mean, it depends person to person, you know, true. Yeah. GPUs also are nice. You want to get a nice GPU. Okay, I think we have the new versions. Oh, they already show as well. Cute, it's not bad. So this is what I see. Oh, by the way, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps. It means a lot. Leaving a like and subscribe. Alright, so don't worry about this here. Like you see how it's kind of degrading, got some issues there. That's just because you can very easily tweak the area that gets moved, and we haven't. But overall, this, for me, is kind of like proof that it works. Because you see it like he's doing that thing. Like in the lobby, they can all be standing like this. And we can just apply that exact same animation always. And then this also is proof that it would work really nicely. Because it looks like he's pissed, like he's stepping like, come on, you know? This is kind of weird. Could be like a victory dance. The physics is a little weird. But I might be biased because I see the gray thing happening here. That being said, I think we're at the stage where we can use this. Plus, honestly, I kind of like this one. Like, I think this is pretty nice compared to all. And what I mean by this one, I mean like all of the different versions. So I think we'll just stick to this T21, and we'll move on. Okay, so all right, below, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna say actually replace the many T versions because we will continue to use T1, or we will default to, or we've found we've found the one version we want to use. It's T21. with a builder kit. Builder kit. Okay. Add 5. Should I do 5 controls? No, 6. We'll do. Actually, we'll keep it really as simple as we can. We won't do like ears. Yeah, add 5. Add 5. What if we do 4? So this is what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking that later on when I go deep into the face thing, which is new, different than Rocket Chimp, will have ears on its own. And then those ears basically are a part of the face thing. And so it's a separate generation, kind of separate the movements of the body versus the face movements of the face. And then that way you can really focus on the limbs as opposed to also focusing on like how the ears react as well, which in the future I believe will help me generate better. So that's what I'm going to do. Add 4. Yeah. Add 4 controls. Left or legs plus arms only. The entire limb I'll do. Note, the entire limb should be highlighted. All right, let's see what the builder kit looks like. And I think that I'm gonna make this my project for tonight, and I think I'll get pretty far with this. Like even after the stream, I think I'll focus on, if you join tomorrow, if you come back tomorrow, it'll be live enough that we can actually try. Building a T21 builder kit page replaces the iteration grid. Big T21 canvas. 4 limb control. Yeah, it's working. Let's see. And for anyone who hasn't seen, let me show you the kit for the keyboard warrior one. Like this is why I really I needed it to be symmetrical, is because I had a lot of problems with this and this being the controller ones. And then also this is why I'm thinking of just bringing it down to only 4 controllable limbs, because the chin and the head area was not useful. It just causes problems. Sometimes I get really nice generation of like the sword movement, but then the head was bad, and then the whole thing gets scrapped and it gets dumped. And then I spent a bunch of time trying to make it so that it doesn't get out of frame, and it worked eventually. But there are very many dumps to get to this point where you have this much movement to make it actually look like something is going on, you know? Like this one I really like this one. It's called Victory Salute, that's what I thought, but it looks like you got frozen, like something happens, right? And it's like something happens and you're like, ooh, like when a cat, everything comes up, like the hair spikes, that's what it looks like. And realistically, you can use these however you want. But just because it's called Victory Salute doesn't mean it can't be that. You can just tell this looks more like this. Let's use it for this. Keep streaming, bro. Long streams are good for YouTube. Really? Yeah, I understand what you were trying to say. Maybe I should keep streaming. Very good animations. I like them all. Nice. I think when I'm not saying I'm an artist, but when like an artist creates their own drawing, they see all the flaws in it. But then like when someone else looks at that drawing, they don't see any of the flaws because they're seeing it for the first time. It's kind of like that. When you build something on your own, you can think in your mind like there's so many issues with it. but then you show it to someone else and watch them be like, wow, very nice. All the more reason, by the way, to just put everything out there. Put everything out. Like if you build something, and so long as you're not too preemptive and you're completely open with it, like whatever, and it's half baked. No. Finish it. Finish it, you know? But then don't go back and think, no, it's not good enough. If you thought for a split second this might be good enough, put it out. Get the feedback immediately and watch it. Like a lot of things will just be in your head. So yeah, whatever project you're working on, trust me, just put it out. And like I said, you learn, right? Like I learned all these problems because I put it out like immediately, and then I tried and I ran things. And so now for the next version of what I'm doing, you could say, I already know I need symmetry. Like that's one of the problems that I just would not have ever considered. Like it should be symmetrical. I was thinking the exact opposite, by the way. I was thinking that it would be a situation where it would be easier if you only have a sword and you're only trying to control the sword. Makes sense. Like you can do this deflect. Looks like a deflection, right? Very simple, small move, as opposed to like if you had two limbs and then you have to move the limb to deflect and then come back. I was wrong. Symmetry is easier. It's a unique, weird problem. Anyway, let's see what we have here. So it says we have the builder. Let's go over to the Shuf Sand instance. And here it is. This is the builder. I built the builder in a different way. And here's the thing. I already see this. So if you can tell already, it's going into the torso. So already, I think what I can do is go ahead and just decrease some of the range. Let me zoom out a little so you can see things even when I move them. Arm L. Oh, never mind. Okay, this is nice in terms of like movement, and they can be. And I love the fact that it parameterized things. So now we have these parameters that we can move around, which is perfect. The only issue, and you can already tell this is an issue, is it's moving more than just the what'd you call it? The limb, the arm, because it's moving some of the torso, right? So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say specifically, great parameterization, but let's use the same freedom as Rocket Chimp, which does not have these sorts of parameters to lock us into specific possibilities. I'm also going to say, because I understand the intention behind it, actually, I'm not going to say that. Why would I tell the bot what I think it thinks? I'm going to say this. Audit Rocket Chimp Studios implementation of the generation, and let's move to the actual what do you call keyboard warriors studio. Let's move the actual keyboard warriors studio local app, build it all out. Author plus auto run a mini bev. Another reason I'm saying mini is because this is a pretty small task to create the entire thing. I'm also going to say success equals temp man Tempman is a fully constructed character with the same amount of generation capability as Rocket Chimp. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm making a 3D open world story game using Opus 5 because Fable's not in $20 plan. You can do it. Start really, really small and see if 2.5 D canvas can work. If it's in the first person, it could. And I tried with Godot. But I don't know if Godot has Godot. I don't know if it has good 3D stuff. Not entirely sure. But it is a tool worth looking into. Good luck, bro. Thank you, Prime. Oh, you're talking to him. I'm an idiot. I already made the heavy parts like the map models now. I need to write a story. Okay, nice. So you're already in there. Not just starting. Alright, I'm gonna go deep back into what success looks like. So this is the centralizing text, basically. Tempman is a fully constructed character with the same amount of generation capabilities as Rocket Chimp. Faces, body, torso, not torso, limb controls, and integration via skills, like, or via, and integration with Claude Code Desktop app. Desktop. App. Integration with Cloud Code Desktop app via skills and ID and copyable ID for reference. Copyable, capable, copyable. I'm gonna keep it, even though it's not a word. It'll know what I'm talking about. Copyable, whatever. It'll probably rename, honestly, or rewrite it. Yeah. Let's do it. You'll see this bev in action. It'll say created a bev, and then I can click it, and then we can see the bev and how that works. Sometimes I don't want to do bevs on stream because it's just waiting. You know, it'll do all the work. But this is a situation where really it is called for. We need to do a bev. When I duplicate the whole thing, I want it to be done right on the first go. No, I'm not using any engine. I'm just making an HTML and 3JS. Somebody did Minecraft in HTML. Like all of Minecraft, I think. And they used AI, obviously. Not all of Minecraft. Minecraft is huge now. But you know what I mean. Like the capabilities are crazy. But if you want this game to be like multiplayer and you want it to be like with lobbies and people join and lots going on, then you probably want to already begin using Railway. Set up like Railway, and then that way you can build the system side of things. My first time building my website, I was so excited. I fell into the trap. I was so excited. I went and I built everything, the back end, the front end, the animations, the chat, I connected to Open Router, everything. Zero system architecture. I was just telling it, do this, do this, do this. Okay, now put it online, put it on this website. I did it. And then I hired a real software developer. He's like, no. Like, no, you can't. You just can't. And he explained to me, he showed me, he's like, if you right click and then you go to inspect and then you go to network, you can see all the stuff in the back. And so you putting your bank information, your open router keys, your passwords, other people putting their everything sensitive, it just puts you in a really bad situation because anyone can hack and take anything. Uh, so lesson learned, and then he taught me like how to do things. And because I had to do it all over again, it made more sense to start everything from scratch as opposed to trying to integrate everything, every little piece, because it was designed initially for no system architecture. The first one, which is a problem, huge problem. So building the pipeline before you build the product, or at least a big portion, the foundation level of the pipeline before you build the product, is probably a good idea. That's my thoughts on that. Right now it's only single player, but I will add multiplayer later. Haha, yeah, but I think there's a way to hide those info in inspect. Yeah. The best way is database architecture. That's just necessary. I watched the stream. We have the bev now. Alright, I'm gonna click on the bev. Open up the bev. Close this because we're doing it on Shoof. And this is a mini bev. This is what it looks like, the bev. So it already finished phase 1, which is the audit. That's the phase type. Implementation plan and verification check. And you can see here, like it'll give you all the details about the phase. It goes and it writes everything like on its own. So long as, because this is important, so long as you have enough of this beautiful stuff right here. You see this here? So long as you have enough. Okay. It's, by the way, it's not only this session. Like in other sessions, if you have a lot of context, this current session can go to these other sessions and get information. So the only reason that my pretty simple prompt that works, why it's so simple, is because I'm building over things. I'm saying, great parameterization, but let's use the same freedom as Rocket Chimp. Rocket Chimp spawns a whole new set of things. So many things I don't have to explain because of that. So that's why that works. If you're gonna actually write a bev that doesn't have context, you wanna sit there and really make sure you sit there and choose exactly what this part here, part 1, centralizing text, what it says. The only reason I didn't go too deep into it, and I didn't say ask me many alignment questions, which I usually do. I tell it ask me a lot of alignment questions so that we're on the same page. Is because it's an easy one. I just went straight into the auto run skill, which all it does is re-trigger. So in a situation where there's a gate, like something stops, it pauses. Something stops, like it pauses and then it freezes and you're not there. Auto run just forces it to go back, like continue. And then because the centralizing text exists, the bev exists, it just immediately goes to, okay, what's the next phase or what's the current phase? And it uses this whip to immediately find out where it is in this work, this little orange thing here. And then it follows the structure. Yeah. This is the amendment log at the bottom. And you can change things. Like if you cut something, it'll say that. If you adjust anything that is in the phases, like phases plan, it'll adjust that. What's it doing? Upgrade the temp man build. Got some output file. Name. That's where we are at right now. I'm gonna remove this poll, or I'm gonna end it. Let's see what happens. Poll complete. 4 votes. So 4 people voted, and we have a 100% consensus that this token guy from earlier was a bot. And Elon Musk, are you still there? Elon, 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 are you there? In the chat, let me know. You know, one of the things that has been changing within me is my voice. I don't talk very much, and the first couple of days of streaming, my voice kind of hurt at the end of stream. Just a little, my throat just kind of felt a little. And I think second day or third day, I kind of lost my voice. Like it was raspy. Now, like what, 2.5 hours in, feeling good. My voice is still there. I'm beginning now, just beginning to feel that thing from talking for too long. You know, like when people yell? I'm not yelling, I'm projecting my voice. I'm only beginning to feel it. Before I would feel it a lot earlier, which reminds me, let me take a sip of water. Gotta protect your voice. Boom. Voice protected. Boil of water. Boil of water. Protect your voice. I have this other boil of water also. Why? Why do I have two bottles of water? I do not know. I just got one, and then I got another, and I have two waters. Yeah. How was your first streams? How it felt? Uh, I wasn't too nervous. I'll tell you why. Because I had a YouTube channel, for skating, so I was already in front of the camera, just not stream. But it was a little. What was really difficult. I'm not saying like don't leave things in the chat. What was really difficult is multitasking. Like when there's chat and there's a project that I'm trying to do, and there's the mic and I have to talk and express myself while I'm talking and thinking and everything. It was very difficult. And to this day, like I'll see things and I'll forget things and I'll get really distracted. And you guys, I've been pretty open about how I'm thinking. You know, I'm like constantly distracted. I'm still learning. I'm getting the hang of things. But let me show you the other channel, and so you know what I mean by I wasn't really like nervous or anything. Yeah, so I wasn't too anxious. Too it wasn't too difficult to start the streaming because I have all these videos of me being an idiot anyway. It was me. It was me again. Hold on, let me Let me actually just choose a nice video and change this SDR because the colors are kind of wrong. Properties. Where's the cam link properties? Why can't I see force SDR? Cam link deactivate, full auto detect. Yeah, we're waiting on the bev anyway, so not much we can do anyway. I can show you some of that as soon as I figure out how to fix the color here, because for some reason it's really bright, and this is the problem that we keep having, which means I really need to fix this problem. Oh, it felt cool. This is messed up. This is messed up. I usually always click on the button and I see the force SDR button. And right now, I simply do not. What if I click limited? I'm gonna try something which might ruin everything. I'm gonna try to click this button. It did kind of change things, but didn't ruin everything. If I go to limited, or if I go to full, so I'm gonna try clicking on full. This is OBS, so for anyone who's trying to, it's weird. It's just wrong. This isn't how it actually looks to you, right? Hello, hi, hello, Jesus, and God bless. We've had many bots recently. Are you a bot? Or are you just devout? Cancel. I don't think a bot would say hello like that. I don't think you're a bot. You're just devout. Wait, is the color fixed? It's still a little weird, but this is one of my videos. And this is me playing basketball. Here I'm practicing. I'm in basketball mode. This is me. See me? This is me playing basketball. Why am I zooming in so much like this? Swish. Where's your friend, Mr. Elon Musk? Where is he? Where is Elon? Were you there? You saw that? Okay, I don't think bots engage with the other bots. That's proof right there that you're not a bot. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Did you vote in the poll? Anyway, that's why the streaming, being in front of the camera isn't like a difficult thing. But what's actually difficult, okay, nice, Bev, done. What's actually difficult is keeping your train of thought alive while engaging with other trains of thought that happen. And that's a skill. That's just something that you have to practice. And the only way really to practice, because with pressure with people, is to expose yourself to a lot of people. So that's basically what I'm doing now. Constantly practicing. I'll get better. Like soon I'll be on track all the time, building things and engaging. Reps. Every day I'm doing a rep. Why would the bot write in the chat, by the way? Just to sell stuff. Like there's these I saw like these Elon bots. It's always like something to do with Elon where it's like, hey, or give us your cryptocurrency like ID or your wallet info, and we'll send you money. Okay. But then they also ask you for other information, and then they just pull all of your money. They do wires, and somebody who really doesn't know what's going on falls for it. You know, most people don't, but that's how like scammers approach things. You gotta be very careful. Be careful. You gotta be very careful about that. You think Elon is a bot and you're intelligent? I think Elon is a bot. I think I am intelligent, yes. You know, there's different types of intelligence. Everyone has a type of intelligence, and we all made it. We're all the sperm that won. So, anyway, that's a bit far. Open it from the app. Okay, this is done. Let's see. Wrong app. Oh, wait. Home. Ah. Oh, we also have the mage. I didn't see the mage. That was my bad. Wow, it built this whole thing and I didn't even know about it. But it is weird, but still it kind of like this is why we did everything that we did. Because look, the faces, like the faces are just placed kind of awkwardly. You can kind of see it, but not that good. And that's why we want to have some level of kind of uniformity, we'll call it. Which is what prompted the creation of Tempman. And this is where we can go ahead and actually adjust things. So here, when I remove this extra stuff and maybe even bring the legs up, then it should work. Let's do it. This Jesus dude is like there's a range of intelligence. Everyone's smart at something. Everyone is smart. It's like one of the things that I'm good at, actually. Like my IQ isn't high. My IQ is 107, which technically, if you were to go to the middle, which is 100, is what it should be, 100. But things have shifted. Is average, because I think there's like a range for average. It's average. But if you go more granular with it, it's above average because it's above the 100. So, I'm just saying. That being said, IQ only measures pattern recognition and visually, like visual math and pattern recognition. So logic and like puzzles and stuff. And what about other types of intelligence? Like it has IQ doesn't even get close to, for example, a type of intelligence, spatial awareness. Like if you look at if you look at professional athletes, they have a lot of spatial awareness. Like a basketball player can in their mind have multiple dynamic, we'll call it variables, which is the ball, the teammate, the enemy, basically the opposition. Basically, there's 5v5 basketball, and so all these variables are moving at the same time, and they have to calculate, but they don't actually calculate things. They just know things. That's a type of intelligence, spatial awareness. That type of intelligence put together with coordination, which is the one that I think I'm good at. You can call it hand-eye coordination. But basically moving this limb with this arm with these fingers, which is why I like typing, which is why I'm building this typing game. But combined with the coordination gives you that like ability to do a bunch of movements and win really the game. Kyrie Irving, despite some of the things he says, is a very, very smart individual. Just not the traditional, I don't even want to call it traditional, the conventional measure of intelligence, which is IQ, which, to be honest with you, is so narrow That is like when somebody has a high IQ, okay, good for you. Like, what do you even want? So that's my thoughts about IQ and what it measures and what it doesn't, and what's important when you think about what smart is. I think Jensen, the guy who makes the GPUs, had something very nice to say about IQ. If you watch that meme, or not meme, that reel. Andre Karpati Claude MD, I haven't had a chance to compare vibe coding with and without Quant BB High. Quantal BB? Quant Library? Lababi? Okay. I've seen a lot of people claim it's really helpful, and I also the guys, a godfather of vibe coding, Andre Karpati. Are you talking about Graphify? That's like the main thing he did. Where did you have your IQ measured? I just did like a test, online test. Told me 107. I chose a good one. It was like a long test, like it was 45 minutes long, you know. Hey, sup, what are you making, man? I am upgrading this video game. This high IQ video game for or not high IQ. High will create a new measure of intelligence. High coordination quotient. High CQ. No. CQ, coordination quotient. Yes. Yes. You need a high CQ to win at this game. High coordination quotient. Where basically, I want to make this multiplayer. I want to play against you, okay? Itsu Tashido. I want to beat you at this game, where basically you can join the lobby, and then we can choose words that we want to practice, and then we can type because we're so coordinated with our fingers. The text is a short sentence using the word metadata. And by the way, if you make a mistake, the entire thing just resets. So really avoid making mistakes. Word meta off. I made a mistake. What happened this run? Like sometimes you get some easier ones. For some reason, I'm just getting a bunch of the exact same really long one. Text is a short. Another thing, by the way, that's important. I'm not gonna win this. That's important with like typing fast. There's a way to type. Like you're supposed to have your fingers on these like keys, and then use this finger to go up or to go down. You gotta use your like pinky for this finger here, right? Go up and down, and then that way, because you're using more of your fingers, you can do more words, right? I had a problem when I was young, and we had this in school. We had this keyboard cover cap. It's like it makes you not see. That's the best way to express that sentiment. It just makes you not see. A little orange thing, you put it, and then you type. I was like, okay, I don't need to. I can do it with a couple of fingers, so I don't need to use my pinkies. I don't need to use all my fingers. I should have used all my fingers, because then I would have developed the habit that would have actually, made my life 10 times easier now. I didn't pay attention. That's really cool. Is it live or still local? It's live. You can go to keywords.io. But it's not multiplayer. It's not like there's still a lot that I'm trying to build. Even the monetization, like this doesn't work. Watch ad. But if you do click it, it'll say ad break. And then you get to go with no ad. So it's extra free now for the for a duration of time. So enjoy. And one thing you should do is you should go to the struggle words. Navigate to where struggle words is. choose the words that you want. So if you're building something, you're using, I don't know, Claude, and you want to type Claude, or you're using, I don't know, OpenAI, and you want to type it with whatever, you can choose the words. Like if you choose a repository, I'm selling this so much now. You click populate, it will give you words similar to it. And then you can make those the words. Right now, the AI that chooses the actual words isn't very good because it's driven by AI. You can see generate full sentences from my words. I need to fix this because the full sentences kind of suck right now. Love the monitor screen and keyboard. Thank you. Me too. I love them too. Thank you. Do you say thank you to that? Like you're complimenting them. I don't know. I appreciate you. I appreciate you leaving a comment and letting me know. That really does help my YouTube and engagement. And then if I make money from YouTube, it's justified for me to get an even better monitor. Maybe get a bunch of keyboards and start reviewing them, and say, hey, look, this is how the keyboard looks. Lots of possibilities. So subscribe, leave a like, comment, and let me know what you think about what I'm doing. All right, let's go back to this. Don't forget, by the way, anyone who's passively watching is still there. We want to go like this with it. We want to go full canvas mode. 2.5D canvas mode. Right now, we're just building the character, and you know, to be quite honest, it looks pretty good. This is the old one. All we need to do is make this adjustment. So I'm going to do that now. Adjust area. Arm. Arm L. And then I'm going to say, so I'm right clicking. I just remembered. I set this up a long time ago and I did not think I would come back to it, but I'm coming back to it. Right click deletes and left click adds. And so I need to make sure that the torso is not, oh no. I need to zoom in a lot for this. All right, so what I'm doing now, control zooming in to make it bigger for me because I have my mouse set to go to like move a lot. I need to be pretty precise with this, which is not my strength. And also, I'm gonna extend this over to here, like that. There we go. So at what step are you right now currently? Like what are you doing in multiplayer module? How? So right now, the only thing that I've done in terms of multiplayer is I've set up the backend. So there's Vercel. You can put a website out on Vercel. And I'm still learning these things, by the way. So I want to preface by saying that I might say something wrong, okay? But this is my understanding. And actually from the community, because a lot of people have joined the community, I get to know what is right and what isn't. So basically you have Vercel, where you can do websites, you can have a front end, you can put stuff online. But then you also have Railway, which gives you more freedom to put more things online and have something to do with like persistence. And if you want to have a lobby, like where people join the lobby and then video game style do things, Railway makes it a lot easier because it has specific things, which I don't want to get too deep into because I wouldn't be able to explain them properly. But basically, there's a Docker. I say that and then I get into it anyway. There's like a Docker, something called Docker to look up. There's an artifact or image, which it can basically start. I don't even know what it starts. Not processes, not runtimes, There's a way to explain it. And then there's like persistence, where with Vercel, it will do like an HTML request. Again, crazy stuff. Doesn't make sense, but you can just talk to people and get the answers, and talk to AI and get the answers. And then it won't stay, and so it won't persist. You won't have a lobby that stays there that people can join. Technically, it's possible. I asked Fable, like, is it possible? Can you use Vercel to do all this? Yes, it is. It's just not. It doesn't lend itself to it. It's not convenient. You run into some issues. So I use Railway. That's kind of what it's for. And that's where I'm at. I built the backend stuff. Now I'm trying to build the character, which to some extent I've already built. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Here's my issue right now, is everything kind of moves this way. And ooh, I just realized something. They're moving live with the adjustment that I just made. Look, the two arms. That's interesting. I didn't know that it was this fine-tuned. Like, look, if I do this, yeah, this changed. It's actually changed with it. That's nice. All right, I'm gonna adjust this area as well. Give the shoulders. Let's try that. Does that work? Is that good? What if we do this? What if I go? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like this. Actually, I'm gonna add a little more. Like that. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. Alright, I need to use more of these tools, even though I kind of forgot. I think this button is what lets me choose which one to. Yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about this. So I can choose what I do want to edit and what I don't want to, and add colors. And what's nice is sometimes, like, I'll let it add, because sometimes AI goes too far and starts telling you things, how to do things. So this time it came useful, because I did this a long time ago. Forgot about how I set it up. But now it's coming in handy. You can read that. In the meantime, let me just get this. That's good. That's good enough, right? Legs should be higher though. So leg L. I would suggest to first set up the complete multiplayer stuff. Test it. Don't worry about the animation graphics for now. You can keep them as the finishing touches. Not a bad suggestion. Yeah, I want to do that, but the thing is, my workflow is has a lot of like set and forget, because I have a Bev skill, which does a really good job, and I also want to stream. So I was thinking I'll do the fun thing on the stream, but you'll know tomorrow because after the stream, I'm gonna do that, basically do all this stuff. Plus, one other reason why it's difficult to stream that is because if you want to set up railway, you want to set up all these things, there's going to be a lot of sensitive data that needs to be involved, right? Like the API keys, the credentials, if there's tokens involved, you have to pay. You have to pay for these services to set them up and have them live. And so it's just more headache and stress during a live stream. But your suggestion was literally something that I was thinking, like, I need to set all this stuff up first, because it doesn't matter what the asset looks like. Like if the whole thing doesn't work. But still, I was thinking this is fun. Plus Prime, I don't know if he's still here, but he was talking about it before. He was talking about this. So I'm thinking, like, might as well dig deeper into this pixel thing. I don't know how far you've come in your project, but if it was me, I would just prompt the AI my whole roadmap and idea as to how I want it for X. You're gonna give me an example? Yeah. That's I like to be a little more hands-on, but I do prompt in like big phases. Like build this entire section, you know, and make sure you do it all correctly. And then after it does the whole section and it's ready, it's live, then I can do another big prompt. Revamp it in this way. As long as you build enough pieces, you can do it. Let's see the example. From the continuation of the previous game, the single player one, I need it to be a multiplayer game. Basically, a player can log in / sign up, then join a lobby, competing with players already on. Yeah. Let me show you my prompt. Basically the same thing, but it goes into the railway thing, and I was gonna do this another day, but all right. So here's the thing. I gave it rules because this is probably for tomorrow, or maybe later tonight. But I was thinking tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. This is the prompt. All right. We'll be working on the mechanics of the Keywars.io game. There are several rules that you must follow throughout the session. Ingrain them into the context of this session, codify them, and remind yourself of them within your chain of thought. What I mean by codify and what it takes is basically it writes a little it writes a little thing that always reminds it of these rules, so it never forgets, even later on when there's drift and hallucination. Yeah, I'll just give you the rules. Number one, this session, the chat between you and me, is live streamed, which is why you must never share sensitive credentials and that kind of stuff. Number two, Keywords.io currently uses assets that will be replaced later, which is why the logic should be set up to enable easy character changes. And that basically gives me freedom to change things however I want. And then Keywords.io will be a multiplayer game, which is why it's okay to reimagine the approach if it is necessary to do so. What language are we doing? What do you mean for the typing? English? Or you mean for the building? The building, I'm pretty sure it's building with HTML. Simple, you know, nothing too big. It's very, very front end. The back end, I don't know what language we'll use, probably Python, but I'm just gonna let it figure it out and then tell me whatever works really for building. The front end definitely is gonna be HTML. Web-based game, yes. Web-based, simple, very simple. I want it to be easy to build for me because I want to keep modifying it and changing things. Like if I use like something like Godot to build everything, I would struggle to specifically, okay, to specifically tell Fable, okay, you go do everything for me. go. But if you use HTML, it's a lot easier. It doesn't have these issues. And the reason, primary reason for that is because of the tool. So I have this tool, you know those desktop extensions that give full DOMS controls and the debugger mode and all this control, and it logs everything, including, by the way, like the previous, like the history of the network. Like, you know, network, you sound like you know things because you're asking about language. You know the network errors that you get when you go on network, you have some issues, you have some problems. That's temporary. In other words, you get that problem, it disappears very quickly. And then your AI, your large language model, doesn't know what's happening. But what ends up happening because of this extension that I have is it all gets logged. And I'll show you what I mean without revealing any sensitive data. Dev tools, console, network. Okay, this doesn't actually show you, but you get a sense of what I'm saying. All right, so this is the current page that I have open, and this is the pages that I have open right now. So I have these different nodes, you can see them. And this is the one I have selected. That's why there's a nice little orange thing around it. And I work in cybersecurity. Well, please subscribe, join, and tell me things because I don't. And I'm a vibe coder. People like me need people like you for everything. This dev tools, everything gets logged. Right now, there's nothing because nothing happened, but it gets logged. And then when you feed that context into the large language model, it does a really good job of being able to build things more than it otherwise would. Obviously, everything else, like the DOMS controls, this is what I literally did. I was like, okay, it seems as though Google Chrome has a lot of these codes, like the DOMS one. What is it? And then it gave me that code, the trigger, basically like the API. List them all. Ensure, verify. Is this all? Now make them all a part of this guy. And then I just added this visualizer for it. And there's only one that I didn't put in, which is the ability to see my passwords. That's just unnecessary. And so everything, it can do anything except when it has to log into my accounts. And then what I end up doing is it's a human gated. So it'll pause and then it'll say human gate. Oh no. And I come in and log in. But because of the DOMS controls and because I'm already logged in, if it's the same day, it can log in again. So you know when Google gives you two-factor authentication, but then you do it and then in the next couple of hours, sometimes it doesn't. So basically, we're logging things so we can make the AI understand. Yeah, pretty much. The more context you give it, the less work you need to do, and the less you need to know. Doesn't mean you shouldn't learn and continue to improve and actually approach this better, but and this doesn't apply to system architecture, by the way. Only applies to building like we'll call it a CRUD app that you want, a CRUD app that you want to put online. The CRUD app level. The system architecture is same thing. You want to give it context, but you don't want to delegate it fully and do the least amount of work. Like setting up the POS, for example. It's called POS, like the payment system with my bank. That's something I would need to just that I did just, you know, learn everything for. Still heavily used AI. All right, where are we here? Whoa, what have we done so far? What's the situation? Oh yeah, that's right. We're trying to set this up. Let me choose leg R. right leg. Oh no. That's okay, I can delete. Because I chose arm R instead of leg R, which is the one I should have chosen. Okay. And now control zoom. Where am I? Where am I? There we go. Control zoom for precision. Ah, there we go. That was a lot easier now that I zoomed. Okay, leg L. Hit that one bit. Come on. There we go. That's what's up. Looks legit, no? Looks good. Point of sales, yeah, I've worked with some of them in my field. So basically we're like, yeah. Does this work? Does it work already? I don't know. We'll see. I'm zooming out and I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna say, wow, that's horrible. This one kind of is promising. The whole head area can be squashed. I'm thinking, let's generate new ones that where they don't detach from the body and then see what happens. Now, how do I save? How do I save? Adjust areas? No. I'm gonna just say, oh, let me undo this zoom thing. I'm just going to say to Fable, listen, pay attention, Fable. I've adjusted the limbs highlights for the for temp man. Save that as the default. Also, dump, I'm gonna do in brackets completely delete. Completely delete the existing three videos or GIFs or generations, yeah, because they are, I'm gonna put horrible in caps lock so I know I'm serious, like don't make this mistake again. The limbs keep detaching. I'm gonna say go back to Rocket Chimp Studio the era and find out what our fix was. Goes back to the context thing, by the way, because I've solved this problem before. I can say this to Rocket Chip Studio era and find out what our fix was. We had physics principles that were always respected. We had movements of limbs that were chosen carefully because you understood how a particular limb moved based on a particular action / sentiment of the character. Try again. Let's try again. We'll see how it ends up looking. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go hard tonight. Like when the stream's over. I'm sorry, dark. It got dark. Quick. But I'm definitely gonna push this really hard. I'm gonna use the auto run, and then set it up live, and it'll just be really bad assets. The graphics we can work on during streams because they're fun, but the backend stuff I do want to do off stream. Make sure that I get everything done correctly. Uh, Rely on my skills. Anish Karma, you still there? What do you think the biggest risk in AI or in vibe coding for vibe coders is? Assume the vibe coder is not a complete dumbass and understands the importance of system architecture and sets it up with row level security, because that's like the one thing that all vibe coders know. But also does the cache thing. I forget what it's called, but when you get spammed, basically, a bunch of bots come and then you discover, oh my god, like every time it reloads the website, it reloads with a bunch of cache, or reloads the entire cache and it costs me a bunch of money, and there's thousands and thousands of bots. So that problem's also solved. And that's it. Those are the main kind of two. Apart from that, what's like a very important system architecture, cybersecurity thing? It doesn't even have to be system architecture only. I don't even know if you're still there, but it is a viable question. And if somebody's watching this in the video, and this is cut and clipped, let me know. Are those the only things you need to have and then you're good? Or, as a vibe coder, can you let me know? Am I missing something? Try not to insult me. I know it's difficult. There's a whole culture of against vibe coders because we say some things sometimes. I get it. Unfortunately, I'm just lumped with the set of people. What do you think, Anish Karma? I think vibe coding is best for CRUD apps. I think CRUD apps are gonna become extremely useful soon. It'll be the next move. It'll be the next thing where somebody builds a tool to simplify further the building of a CRUD app, and they optimize that, like either OpenAI or Claude. They optimize that hard, where you don't have to tell it like add a favicon, you know, and then every time you tell it build me this app, it goes on its own and it does basically this. It like prioritizes just from a visual perspective. Keep in mind, like not everyone's tech savvy. It prioritizes setting up the icon on your desktop in a really nice way, and making it so that like when you click on your app, whatever your app is, that it shows up uh like this at the top. Hold on. It doesn't show up like a URL. It shows up like this, like it's an app. Like it's its own thing. And then people are just gonna, regular people who are not that deep into vibe coding, they're just gonna be like, okay, wow, I can just build an app, easy. And then they build their app at home. Where are we at here? Bands measured. sag only, leg lift only, arm, small swing, raise, go through, variance. Then, okay. Yeah, so now it's going back basically, and it's finding all these laws. It's calling it laws, rules basically, uh, of physics that I added when I built the first version, the rocket ship version. And so it's just easier this way. I don't have to sit there and re-explain everything. I just say we did this before. We solved this problem before. Go back to that solution. Use it. Use that old solution. New generation pipeline plus 3 new animations. I think it's done. It said it's done. Okay, I'm gonna check it. If it's interesting, I'll tell you it is. You should check it out. If it's not, I'll also let you know. Let's see. Hmm. Uh. Huh. Honestly, it could work. Like with the right colors. Rose, you can't even see. With the right colors, it could work. It's just there's a problem. It starts off smooth and soft, and you can kind of see, right? It starts off pretty smooth, soft, everything's round. But then when it goes up, it gets pixely with kind of rougher edges. And what I'm thinking is instead of trying to make it soft, which is going to just go forever, and we're just not going to get there, let's just make the whole thing pixely. Because at the end of the day, this is like a pixel art thing. And if we get the right colors and the right size, aspect ratio, I should say, or pixel ratio, I don't know, then it will always be good. And you can just change the colors and get it to look good, easy, generate a bunch. Simplify. Basically simplify the entire thing as opposed to uh, sitting there trying to make it smooth. And it'll just be easier later on. This one gives me hope because it looks good. Like actually, it's just like I said, it's very pixely. The separation, the hand separation is still a problem. All right, so this is what I'll do. Uh, Feels good and looks nice too. Wow, 1000x. Nice. I'm glad. Glad it's not that you like it. Still, I'm worried. Like here, let me tell you what I'm actually worried about. I want to make it so that I can easily generate new ones in the future based on this template. And I don't want to constantly have to adjust the template, and they have to be flexible enough that I can get them to do pretty much any action I want. And I don't want to spend a bunch of tokens every single time that I want to generate a new version. But most importantly of all, I want to be able to generate a bunch of the character at a time. So I can say, here's the new character, generate this new character, doing all these different actions at the same time, and then let it run, and I get all of them consistently every single time. And so what I'm thinking to make that actually a reality is to use even less pixels, basically. It's already, like when I tried to do all this before using many pixels, uh, it was bad. And then the less pixels I use, the better it ends up being at actually giving me the action that I want. Can't find how many pixels it says, like 400 by 400 or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't say, but it's in that range, you know. Yeah, so that's my logic right now. I'm still deciding. I'm coming up with these ideas on the spot. Your limb adjustments are the default. Let's actually read what it says. That's probably a good idea. Your limb adjustments are the default. Okay. The old 3 animations are gone. I found the chimp there. I'm just a very new generation power plant plus 3 animation. Animations are now auto specs. Okay. Not telling me anything. Change the default T21 and make the the message got deleted immediately. Change the default T21 icon because it's not pixely or not pixel enough. Here's what I mean by pixel. Number one, several pixels deliberately clump together. And what's that shape name? Is there like in I'll just say in square / rectangle groups to I'm trying to think like an artist, like the way the artists speak, like they have words. But okay. So several pixels deliberately clumped together in square / rectangle groups too. It's easy to show. Yeah, I'll just show you to look like this basically when it's moved. Because you see those clumps of rectangle, square, right? What I'm saying, my proposed solution is just to work within the constraint, within the limitation of what we already have. If the shape, the initial shape of this guy is already a little squarey, a little rough on the edges, and then the movements look exactly like that always, it's just gonna look cute. As a matter of fact, it's gonna look deliberate. It's gonna look like that's exactly what I wanted. That's the vibe, right? So that's the solution in my mind. Now, how do I describe that? Like, make it look like this. Clump together. That's what I'm trying to describe. I'm trying to find the words for it. Several. Oh, I didn't spell that correctly. I just fixed it. I used to say sever, and now it says several. Several pixels deliberately clumped together in square / rectangle groups as the default shape, similar to a 2D Minecraft / Roblox character. Yeah, that works. That works. Number 2. Yeah, I didn't have to articulate it. I just found an example. That perfectly describes what I'm trying to go for. I'm saying a 2D version of that style where it's like blocks and squares. All right, that's the first rule for the new one we're trying to have. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna do this. create a completely new throwaway script with 5 new examples. I think I made a mistake, and the mistake that I made was earlier on when I said I want to have separate limbs. That's a problem because if they're already separate, then they can't do the action of separate. So if they're already closed, the legs only, not the arms, then later on when you want them to move, one can move, right? So for a kick animation, like if this is the legs area, one moves like this, it's a kick. But if both of them are like this and then you want one to move, it looks weird. The physics doesn't line up, you know what I mean? So having them already like this, where they're both standing down, it does kind of work. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should have set up that way, and then also working on the actual on this here made me realize that that would probably make it work better. Like, oh yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. What do you guys think if you're looking? Like switch to something literally this square and then it becomes pixely. I like V4. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of this game called Castle Crashers. This is the game. Maybe one day we get that because you can see like the heads were used basically to distinguish between the different crashers of the castles. And you know, there's different shapes, but basically what I'm thinking is the similar type of customizability would exist in that range. Like I put the eyes down here, just really small. Like every character has just a big forehead, and then people can put whatever they want on their head, different types of helmets, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it, but I just want more versions of it to see. So create offspring. Create offsprings of V4. Basically use it to generate very similar variations. Don't leave. Should we leave gaps? Damn. Don't leave gaps. I'm not gonna say that. I'll just post it and we'll see. Oh, Shivank, one bro. I want to make a website where there will be leaderboard of my class ranking of every member rank in arm wrestling. Okay, go for it. You like arm wrestling? You know what you should do? You should I don't know what level you're on, but maybe this is helpful, or maybe this is just redundant, or not even redundant, just not even useful. But go check look for components. Be like, just ask your AI. Link me to some websites that have really good components for a front end for my idea, which is etc. Whatever. And then I'll click on the components and basically just shows you these different animations and stuff like that. And you'll find a component or two that's perfect because it's just ready built code. That's what a component is. Is it too late to learn coding? Absolutely not. With Claude and She, no, it's not late. Can you show me how can I build one? To learn coding, by the way, what you should do is you should have a project. Like Shivak, for example, chose a project a project that he can go for. And so naturally he's going to learn. He's going to run into, even if, I'm going to show you now components. Even if he doesn't hear from me and he says, do this now, he can just read the context while you get responses from Claude. And you can look for certain things in the response while it's thinking and be like, oh, that's a key term that I should learn. And then you learn that. And that's the best way to learn. So choose a project. What do you want to build? Let me show you, Shivank, some components and what I mean by components. Hold on. What if I got CN? I have just buy a laptop. Okay, go on your laptop and type this. Type this ui.shadcn.com. Okay, and there's all these components. So this is just a bunch of stuff code that is written that's for you to copy. It's just there, so you can copy it. What's up, Ali? 404. You keep coming in and then leaving. Are you back? I'm still building, still doing my thing. What's up with you? I'm just showing components. So these are different. Where do you click here? Registry. No. Yeah, I'll click on accordion, for example. It's a bad one. Badger, bubble, calendar, card, chart, back. Nice. Chart. So you see this, Shivank. This code is just ready. It's there for you to copy. You can say, use this component for whatever, right? And you don't even have to copy and paste this. You can just tell it, like, you go get it, Claude. Go get it. Just get it, and then it'll get it for you. Radix UI. There's different UI. Yeah. So these different components, there's a lot of them. And it's very easy to build websites if you understand that. Get a subscription, get a subscription to Claude or to ChatGPT, and just ask it the right questions. This is the main thing you do. You just say, put it on build it localhost first. What it looks like when it's running locally is this isn't online, like you can see here. This is in my folder. It's not online. It's not www. Okay, but it's a place where you can build your website and experiment and do whatever you want inside, which is what I'm doing here, right? But then when you're ready to put it online, you can very easily say to Claude, like, how do I do that? What are the steps involved? How do I buy a domain? Domain is like how do I register a domain, I guess. It's okay, you can use the wrong terms. Just what is a domain? How do I get it? I want www dot something. Check, can I buy it and make this go on that? That's how you do it. You just start somewhere. To be honest with you, you just have to have a project in mind and go for it. Nice, cool, nice. I like real website. Yeah, I have a real website. I have several actually. All right, let me focus on this and see what these variations are. Actually, let me try this. Create new ones. Same thing. I'm gonna put in brackets offsprings. but take inspiration from the body shape of the Castle Crashers game. Yeah, that's why. This is why I think most of this will be built now when I'm streaming, having fun chat during the stream. How can I deploy a site for free? You can actually host on Vercel or Netlify, so that's free, huh? Also, there's domains that are for free. Like dot something domains. So you can technically 100% free build a full website that anyone in the world can go to. And it's live, it just works. So if you're really that much like on a crunch monetarily, financially, you're just that you just can't, right? You can still learn. I mean, let me find. I think GQ.GQ is no, not DQ. Pork bun. I don't want to go on my pork bun. Which domain type is free? Is it GQ or something? Old free country extensions. Ah, it's the countries, that's right. Look, check this out. It's one of these. And some of them are still free, I'm telling you. .tk, .ml, .ga, .cf, those are completely free. Some of the domains are really, really cheap though, and you probably would want to get those, like even the .com ones. It's just not going to be a very nice domain. So there's definitely a lot of options you have. If you're that much on a crunch, I would say start there completely free, and yeah, you can use Zoho Mail free with your custom domain and have own email address too, like mine. Nice. $404. Got my .dev for $5 for a whole year, so yeah. I think sometimes, especially if it's a high schooler, the problem isn't even like the money isn't there. The problem is you say to mama and baba, hey, I want to buy this thing from the online. They're like, the online? The online? No, no. But it's only like $3. No, absolutely not. You know? So that's probably the real problem. If that's your problem, and you just want to start somewhere. In the future, you can actually build your website. Just use use Vercel and Superbase free, you know, to set up your entire real architecture, system architecture, but then also use these free domains and set it up with those free domains. And besides, with Vercel, if you're okay with the Vercel app thing, you don't even need this. But it's good to know. Completely free. Where are we with in terms of the output? Oh wow. Honestly, it's kind of cute. It's definitely possible. It can be very face focused, but I don't know. It's still cute. What do you think? Is it too much? Like this one definitely just didn't work out. The tiny body one, Compact, you got compact over here. Giant head, tiny body. Wow, I'm at a loss. Let me try something else. Let me try. Bigger bodies, taller heads. Make that adjustment. Also, don't let there be gaps between the torso and the limbs. Let's do it. Come on. Give me some nice limbs. I like how there's these little descriptions. Like it's gonna give me a wide stance. What? Well, that is a wide stance. Bigger arms. That's a fail, is what that is. It's not bigger arms. Alright, still working on this one. Stub geometry. Head block. The most extreme head to body ratio of the set is C7. Tiny body. All of them are extreme, to be honest. Like the variance between how extreme, bigger arms, longer legs, compact, like C4, C6, C7, C8. Not very much. All of them are too much. This one is not an outlier in terms of extreme. This is why I want to completely set up like the template and lock in some rules. Because if you just tell Fable to do it every single time you want to generate a new character, you're gonna have these sorts of issues where it just visually will not do a good job. And so go through the entire headache from the beginning, discover whether or not you can generate all these assets in the first place, and then if it's worth it, go for it. I think it will be worth it. It's just a matter of choosing, like choosing which type of asset to use. This one could work. This one could work. I know it looks bad, but D4. I mean, let me say this. Show me C4, but distinguish. Ooh, distinguished. Distinguish between the limbs with some color code so I can see the different limbs, the shapes of the limbs properly. Note, add a new section for this. Do you have any idea about a PRD? Product requires document. I do not have any idea about this. Yep, correct. Or you can say SRD, software requirement document. What is that? Let me look that up. This is I'm not gonna do what vibe coders on social media do. This is a game changer. If you don't know about the PRD, you're missing out. Or no. But there's something else. There's something else that people who know. ESRD. What even is it? Like, you go easy on me. I'm new to this. I'm sorry. Uh, uh, what's PRD used for? We're gonna ask Gemini. All right, the product requirement document is used to define the what, why, my bad, the what, why, and how of a product or feature. Ah, no, I do not have that. So here's the problem with just being very, very conventional with your building process. It's difficult to iterate. Like if you don't have if you have enough of a plan that you know what you want to see, like you have a vision, it's a clear vision and you have it in your mind. But the road to get there is just not within your capability. You cannot have a plan. You can have an end goal, like this is what I want to see, this is the vision. But I just don't know too many things for me to sit there and actually plan and have like these are the requirements, because I don't even know what the requirements are. All I know is I want to be over there. And there's a road, and the only way is just to try. And if it breaks and it fails, okay, I try again. If it breaks and it fails again, try again. When I built Rocket Chimp the first time, like my website, this was buyabigboat.com, not Rocket Chimp. Buyabigboat.com. When I built this site, which is basically a full-blown wrapper, like you go on my chat and you chat, you create new chats. Obviously, it'll have some different language support because it's a wrapper. There's a bunch of tool calling. There's charts that shows you the charts live. There's a connection between the chart and the chat. So if I draw a line like this, I can talk with Rocket Chimp and be like, "Hey, what's this line? What do you think of it?" It sees things. It's a master. There's a knowledge base. It's a master on strategies and everything. The first time that I built it, just the first time I built it, there was literally no system architecture. I didn't even know that Supabase existed, or Postgres, or anything really. I just was like, okay, now put a password for protection. And I had my open router key there. It's amazing. Let me tell everyone about. And then you learn. You realize, okay, that's not how you do things. But guess what? Open router has a limit. Like, people aren't dumb. Okay, there's a daily cap. You're not gonna break that cap, right? And so you just do things, and sometimes the mistakes are expensive. Sometimes they're not. But all of them take you one step closer, and that's basically the vibe. Get it? Because vibe coding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, 404 knows this stuff. Sanjeev. Where we start off with a PRD, a document with all the details, features of the product. That will be built. Yeah, it'd be better to generate that. Mostly in agile development, we start off with PRD listing the software requirements, functional or non-functional requirements. So it's basically a document having everything, which can then be used in planning phase in agile development to distribute it into multiple phases, components, etc. That's how traditional software development works. I like how you said traditional, because probably that wasn't the best. That was the best way of doing things. Literally just 1 decade ago, before LLMs. Like even experts of a language can use LLMs and agentic workflow very efficiently to enhance their workflow, probably in a way that is better than a new vibe coder who doesn't know what's going on. But like to build instead of a PRD, build a map. You know, like a node map. Easy. It's not expensive to do that anymore. I'm helping my guy to know about this stuff. Hey, how are you? Nice live stream. Thank you. Ryu Paterna Y1P. Hello, fellow vibe coders. It's nice to see you all here. That's something I should say. Hello, fellows. Alright, where are we at with our... yes. So this is what I meant. So I was telling you, like C4 looks like it could work. It doesn't look good here. It looks like a blob. Like what even is this? But if you look at it from over here, it makes sense, right? So suppose you want to customize it. You can basically get it to change like only some of the colors. I think I'm gonna try it. C4, use C4. Let's try. I'm gonna say generate some examples of C4 moving. So what are we building tonight? Well, I'm building. I'm just working on the live stream on some graphics for this game. So check this. This is kind of live, so you can actually check it. There it is. Keywords.io. So you can choose the different words that you want to practice when you're typing. And then you have this zombies, hordes, warrior style game that happens where you have to type the words, like here, beware the mighty. And then like when you type the word, it I've pitched this. I feel like I'm pitching because I said this so many times, but basically, you know, beware the mighty metadata. And this is like words that you choose to practice. The git echoes across the battlefield. The git echoes, it can't get, oh no. If you miss, then it just across the oh my god. If you miss, then it just restarts, is basically what I'm showing here. I want this multiplayer. I want this to have a bunch of characters, and I'm thinking of making this into a, I don't want to say 3D, 2.5D thing. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. There's a lot that can be done, basically. I'm thinking this can be a situation where you, if you subscribe and leave me a like and stay tuned and come back in, you know, every day for like a week, can go against me, because we'll do multiplayer, or not against me, with me. Go with me, actually, on a horde, and we go together on an adventure and we try to get a high score. You know what I mean? My favorite diagram is ERD diagram. Helps understand the back end structure a lot. What is ERD diagram? ERD diagram. Hey, this is my vibe. This is what I like to. Entity relationship diagram. This is see, this is better than a PRD in my opinion. I don't know if they're meant to do the same thing, but I basically built this on my own without knowing that this is what it's called. I'm really glad that I know what it's called. Like all of my projects, literally the one that I'm working on now, right now, the website that I showed you, keywars.io, has its own ERD, you could call it. And you can see that there's these nodes, right? It's like the icon's cute. It's like this is the entity, there's 3 entities in the icon. But in practice, I'll show you the actual. I think people get somebody got upset when I was like, "This is my architecture," because it's not the architecture, but it is the entities. Actually, 404, thank you, because now I can just call it that. But yeah, so this is basically how far we've gotten. It's a very small project, as you can see. It's on GitHub. It's backed up. There's a little Supabase thing. I have the DNS, like the cloud, whatever it's called, the protocols for the URL. And I have the little control it all, the cover view. Like come back and adjust things. Got some of the findings. Everything's clean because it's such a small project so far. Click on scene because I've seen it. But yeah, this pretty soon, because I did set it up to connect to Railway, is going to be full of problems that I have to figure out. So that, yeah, I use that basically to guide me through my unbelievably unorganized iteration process. Oh, Prime. I just created my first skill, so they start moving fast and cut the BS. Okay, nice. Is it nice? Keep creating your skills. Trust me, this is like the hack. This is a pretty good idea. I really like it. Thank you. Thanks very much for sharing that. I used design UML diagrams. Yeah, it depends on it. By the way, everyone learns differently and everyone has different, they're receptive to information in a different way. Different IQ levels. Earlier in the chat we were talking about IQ. Everyone's different, so you have to choose the diagram basically that works for you. Like the thing I was saying earlier about PRD and SRD doesn't work for me. Maybe it's perfect for you. Maybe you're just organized, and you find comfort in having like a clear sequential process. Do A and then B and then C and then D, and you finish everything, and then you start again with another one, and that's the most effective way for you to learn because you have that end goal. So don't let me, for example, talk you out of doing the workflow that works for you, but make it into a skill. Like Prime's here making it into a skill, whatever he wants to do. Make it into a skill like I did. I have the OV widget, which is basically, might as well show you the OV widget. All my projects are, there's not the OV widget. All my projects are laid out very nicely for me here. And there's these skills, like the skill family, OV Hunt. OV stands for overview, by the way. OV new, create a new overview map. OV add, check, find this, OV sync. Basically, these skills come together. And whenever I want to adjust a website, because you have like GitHub, right? You do things locally, but then you push it. So they're given their own local host. You open up the map for it, and then you see all the problems that you need to fix, all the issues that you have. Some of them are big. There's some of them have like sensitive information, so I won't click on them. But all of them follow that format of basically the what is it, DRM we call what do we call it? And then the skills connect to these different entities in different ways, and everything gets an identifier. So I can always talk about the exact problem because I just copy it and paste it into Fable and say this is what I'm talking about, and everything gets pulled up. Oh, it's already 8:15. I'm gonna have to end the stream soon. Let me just read your chats. For me, ERD goes into 3 levels. Level 3 being more detailed. 0, 1, 2, 3. These diagrams depend on the thing you are trying to achieve, while some you need for overview, others, if you want to get into the depth of it. Also, you can ask AI to go through your project and generate ERD. That's basically my OV thing, but I generate the ERD early, and I tell it, and I made the skill to basically say, listen, update the ERD constantly, keep it up to date. Russia BT High, what IDE are you using? I'm just using Fable. I'm not using a dedicated environment. It's building everything. You can call it an ADE, Agentic Development Environment. I don't know. For the trading thing, like the only idea I got comfortable with is MQL5, but it's very small. I had Visual Studios, explored it. But yeah, I guess you don't really need to at this stage, depending on the size of your project also. Interesting idea, but it gets really messy when you are trying to play into the OS level stuff, especially with macOS. Looking to connect with Vibe Code to build something awesome. Projects currently I'm building PC Doctor, local mechanic for your PC. I don't know how that would work, but do it. Do it. It's one of those things that if you do it, then it'll make sense when you share it. All right, listen, crew. I have to end the stream. Gotta end the chat. Gotta stop it all here. What I want to do is tonight and probably tomorrow as well, before the stream, I want to work on this and just set up the multiplayer side of things. And I don't know if I want to say this. I want to say, all right, tomorrow we'll go on a horde together and we'll play. But I don't know if it will be ready. So I don't want to say that, but I'll say that it could be ready by tomorrow. Because I'm invested now. Like, I want this to work. This, by the way, was started because of Gillian. Gillian is another streamer, and she was building a game, which reminded me that I built this game a long time ago. This Keywars.io game, and then I was just thinking, that's such a good idea. Like, it's such a good idea, and I even kind of had that thought, like, if I do videos and stream, I can get people to join the game and we can play. But because I had school at the time, but like the community, school.com community. But I never went for it. And today I went for it, and now this is the new project. I'm obsessed with it. It'll probably last at least multiple days before we move on. So come back tomorrow. Let's play. And yeah. Thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. If you haven't liked, subscribed, it means the world to me if you do. And if you've been here this whole time, thank you so much. For real. Take care. You too, 404. So many people. Sanjeev. Prime. I don't know if you're still there. Rishab. Ryu. We got Ryu. Of course. Shivank. Downforce. Meme Gyan. Anish Karma. Itsuki Shido. Alright, there's a lot of names. Of course, we can't forget one of the biggest contributors and supporters of my stream, Elon. Elon was here like early in the chat. Gotta say thank you to Elon.